It's so pretty. This is what I wanted.
To SUMERU, our next objective should be to head to SUMERU City and find a way to meet with Lesser Lord Kusanali. And speaking of Lesser Lord Kusanali, even though we haven't heard too much about her, she doesn't seem to be the same deity who abducted your brother.
Damn, imagine tiny person abducting Aether.
But even so, people call SUMERU the nation of wisdom, you know. If we can get a chance to meet the god of wisdom, maybe she can give us some useful information.
Oh. I mean, fair.
Paimon doesn't know the way to SUMERU City. Maybe we can climb up to that spot with the statue of the Seven on it. That'll give us a way better view of things.
I love the aesthetic of giant flowers. Giant, like, foliage in general.
Even
I'm a
if we
fan.
can't see exactly where the city is, at least we'll be able to check for some smaller settlements nearby.
Oh!
Wait a second. Look! There's someone up
When
ahead!
is Baizu gonna come? I know that's not Baizu, but when is Baizu gonna be reintroduced into the story? Is he a SUMERU dude? Or just a Dendro dude?
Ask for directions rather than wander around
No, just a
with lost
Dendro dude, right?
adventurers. Hey there! We're not from around here and seem to have gotten a little lost. We'd like to ask for some
Ignored!
directions. Huh? Did they not hear Paimon? Hey! You over there!
Aw,
Can you
wet
give us
socks.
some directions?
Huh?
I like her hair. I wish she had a
What's going
playable
on here?
character with this hair
There's no way
color.
she could have missed that. Wait! Could she be ignoring us? How dare she?
Maybe there's a reason she ignored
Well,
us.
even so, she
I
might
would
be
ignore
hiding
Paimon
someplace where we
too,
could
to be
find
honest.
Other people to ask. Let's keep our distance and follow her. When we get the chance, we'll just ask someone else for directions.
Imagine ignoring someone and then having them follow you. Terrifying. Chapter 3, Act 1. Through Mist of Smoke and Forest Dark. Okay, I derailed.
Huh? She just walked near that small waterfall and then suddenly vanished. Let's go take a closer look. Paimon thought this cave would lead to a village or something, but it looks like that's not the case. Look, she's sitting over there. Wait,
Is that
she
the...
couldn't possibly be
That's not for
living
cooking,
here,
is it?
could she?
No. What is that?
What should we do now? Do
Maybe we
try
shouldn't
asking
bother
her?
her.
It looks like she's meditating
Paimon, I'm
or
sorry,
something.
Paimon.
If we bother her now, she probably wouldn't let us off very lightly. Oh! What a lovely smell! It's coming from that sensor over there. This is definitely not your typical place to call home, but at least it smells nice. Maybe living here wouldn't be too bad after all.
Oh. Is she getting flashbacks of Aether?
What's the matter? You don't look too good.
It just smells bad.
Is the smell making you feel sick? Strange. Paimon doesn't feel anything.
Interesting. Oh no. I feel like there's a lot of drugging going on in SUMERU. First it's Tighnari's like teaser video with him hallucinating off the shrooms. Now we're just being drugged. I don't know if this is intentional drugging though. I would hope not. But it kind of seems like it. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, it's the tree. The really pretty tree. I've been wanting to see this tree since I saw in the teaser. I really hope this is somewhere we can return to later, and I hope it doesn't get completely burned down by Dottore. It'd be really unfortunate if this just burns down forever, you know? Oh! Oh no. So agile. Is this like a premonition? Premonition? of the future? Or is Kusanali talking to us through the tree? These are all just guesses. I like the pink foliage. This is so pretty. Jeez. I'm assuming that was Kusanali's voice.
Are you sure it's not serious? The Traveler's been out for a long
I wonder if it
time now.
relates to the line of her being the moon that we
Yes,
saw in the
you
teaser.
Can relax. Believe me, Master is extremely knowledgeable.
Is this Kale?
If he says that she's going to be alright,
Oh,
then
she's
there's
so
absolutely
cute.
nothing to worry about. Oh, are you awake now? Oh, thank goodness! Traveler, you're finally awake! Well, we're at... Good question. Where are we? Hyman was in such a panic when you passed out that she even forgot to ask what place this is. This is Gandharvaville. It was originally built by scholars from SUMERU as a place to rest in
Gandharvaville.
the rainforest. Now it's mainly used by the
I'm gonna
forest
go by the
rangers as a base of
pronunciations that the
operations.
voice actors are saying.
My name is Kale.
For now, at
I'm
least.
a trainee forest ranger. My master and I found you passed out during our patrol, so we brought you here.
Thank you for your help.
Oh, no things are necessary.
Her voice is so
Didn't do anything,
cute.
Really. By the way, how are you feeling now? Any discomfort? Oh, that's Master's herbal medicine you're tasting. He gave you some while you were unconscious. Before I forget, Master mentioned you should take more medicine once you wake up.
The butterflies on the wall are so pretty.
Whoops!
More drugs. Oh,
Kale, what's the
ear!
matter? Were you trying to retrieve the medicine? As I've already told you, you must be careful with these. All right, I'll get it for you once I'm finished here.
Sorry, Master.
Now, the guide to Avidya Forest's edible fungi is clearly posted on our bulletin board. But if Farbode forgets which mushrooms to avoid one more time, I'll have no choice but to leave the guide somewhere a little more visible. Like right smack on his forehead so others can remind him to be careful.
Right?
Wow.
This is the second time he's
He's a
come down
lot
with food poisoning
sassier
this
than I
month.
thought he'd be.
I'll be sure to give him a good talking to.
Yes, please do. If, on the off chance, Farbode simply enjoys having little imaginary fairies dance before his eyes, then we'll just let him be. But the next time he requires any of our medicine, be sure to charge him accordingly.
He's so much sassier than I thought he'd be.
So, how are you doing? Feeling better?
Oh, this is my master, Forest Watcher Tighnari. He's chief officer over all the rangers here in Gandharvaville.
I already informed Paimon about the reason you fell unconscious earlier. But now that you're awake, let me explain it for you as well. It is common practice for Sumeru scholars of certain darshans to dedicate themselves to training and meditation in isolated areas, particularly the nearby forests. While meditating, they use a certain incense known as spirit borneol to help calm their minds as they enter a state of deep rumination. In hopes of asking directions, you two followed a scholar named Hypatia into her cave. The incense you smelled inside was the spirit borneol I just mentioned. That incense typically has
There's a
no
lot of
effect on
emphasis
most
he's putting
people,
into the word borneol.
but for a very select few, it can have profound effects on one's cognition, as you experienced firsthand. Does that make sense?
I don't know if he's meant to be sassy, but he just sounds so sassy.
Very good. Now, answer me this. Did you feel anything after
Answer me
passing out?
this.
Say, any out-of-body experiences? Or did you see anything while unconscious? Kale, let the others know to stop bringing their patrol logs here for now.
Why?
Because
Your
these
voice
two
is
will
so
be staying
cute.
here for the next few days. They can have my room and I'll bunk with Amir. Now get a move on and be sure to do as I've said.
Yes, Master Tighnari.
He's such like a sassy mom.
Wait, hold on a second. Can you
Why do
tell us
I
what's
feel like
going
he's the
on?
most Karen-y
Sure, let me
character
fill you in.
in
I
Genshin thus
originally
far?
planned to send you on your way once you finished your medicine. However, it appears now that you should stay a while longer in Gandharvaville for further observation while you recuperate.
Further observation?
No need to be hasty. As long as you have the capacity to judge between right and wrong, I promise that you'll understand the gravity of the situation once I explain everything to you. Based on what you saw
feel like
after
he's a
smelling
little-
the incense and losing consciousness, we
It's a
can
little bit of
conclude that you
superiority issue, you
experienced
know?
a powerful hallucination, which suggests your mental state is not in the best of shape.
Hey, hey, hey,
If
hey,
you're
hey.
skeptical, have a whiff of this.
What is with the drugging?
Oh, are you okay?
You're experiencing a similar sensation as when you passed out, aren't you? So even though your condition is stable as of now, if I were to haphazardly let you leave, it's highly likely that you'd suddenly pass out again somewhere else. The rainforest is home to many fierce animals and hazardous areas. If something were to happen to you again, I'm afraid you might not be so lucky. For now, I suggest you continue taking your medicine each day and avoid wandering off on your own. At least until you stop having adverse reactions to this kind of smell, okay?
Is it because like this smell is naturally all over SUMERU? Because if so, that would make sense. But I feel like he's just whipping out these drugs and then
Good. Now
Speaking to
continue
us about it.
resting while I fire up another bowl of medicine for you.
Seriously? We just arrived in SUMERU and we're already having problems left and right! Paimon knows we're set on meeting Lesser Lord Kusanali as soon as possible, but you really don't look too good. It'd probably be best to
Thanks.
let you recover first. Hey! Are you even listening to Paimon? Paimon's over here worrying about you, you know!
still feel like it's a
What's
little
weird?
weird.
You mean how you're feeling now?
I don't think I saw hallucinations.
The vision of tree roots and red skies you saw? But if those weren't hallucinations, what could they be?
Could have been Conria.
Well,
Huh.
considering how unique you are, Paimon trusts your judgment here. But why didn't you say anything about it to Tighnari? If he misjudged your condition, then there's a chance you could get worse, right? Huh? You mean that Tighnari already knows that what you saw weren't hallucinations? But if that's the case, why would he try to hide that from us? Oh, Paimon gets it now. That explains why you were so quiet earlier. Well, that settles it then. We'll stay here to rest up and figure out what's going on with your hallucinations. But it seems like asking Tighnari might not be an option anymore. What
I
do you
didn't
think
realize
we
the
should do?
color in her flowers changed color too. Or maybe I remember before or saw it before but forgot about it.
Kale's pretty friendly. We can ask her tomorrow about what she knows regarding the Dendro Archon and customs in SUMERU. Rise and shine! Come on, it's time to go
Ah!
for
What a cool office.
All right, next let's see your right hand. Yes, not bad.
This
But please
reminds me
remember that you
of
still need to be careful. Understand?
the test that my doctor did when I got a concussion.
I will. By the way, Master, I still haven't received the patrol route for today.
Oh.
Today's patrol will be a long one, so you won't be coming along this time.
Is she with him?
Besides, there's a chance we may encounter... Well, you understand.
I know in the well, this might be a spoiler. Never mind, I won't say it. I was gonna just say is Kale under Tighnari's care for like health documenting purposes because of her past. I won't get into her past because it's tied to a webtoon. I don't know if that's a spoiler. Boy, if so interesting. I see a backstory of how they met.
I have a vision too.
Oh,
Am I useless to everyone now?
Don't talk
I
like
love
that,
her voice
Kale. This is
actor.
not something you need to be worrying about right now. Ah, there you are. Feeling any better?
Is there something we can help with?
Since we'll be
Can we
staying
help
here
monitor
for
or
now,
anything?
I thought we might as well try lending a hand around here.
Seems you're not the type to sit back and take it easy for a while, huh? In that case, perhaps Kale could take you two for a patrol south of Gandharvaville for the day. And if you're feeling up to it, you can be responsible for cleaning the Statue of the Seven.
Never thought of that.
Tighnari,
Are
we're
they
ready
just
to head
Hassel
out.
always cleaning the statues all over Teyvat?
Roger.
So
I'll
that's
be right
really
there.
awful. Some of them are
Alright,
super high
we'll be
up.
heading into the forest now. I'll leave any further details to Kale.
Yes, you can count on me. So, Kale, what exactly are we going to be
Cleaning
doing?
statues, doing
Tighnari
more
mentioned cleaning the
chores.
statue just now, but, that doesn't
Busy
really sound
work,
like the
as we
job
always
we're
do as the
arranging.
role of the traveler.
Well, a forest ranger's responsibilities can be pretty diverse. They handle a variety of tasks, like checking the condition of outlying roads, maintaining forest facilities, ensuring fire prevention standards are met, and providing assistance to travelers and locals. As for Master, well, he has to handle more dangerous areas of the rainforest. Today we can perform routine checks on the pathway lamps as we make our way to the Statue of the Seven. The Statue of the Seven is up on top of that large rock formation. You must have seen it when you came down this road before.
Oh,
high
I'm
up
so
there,
happy
isn't
I
it?
got all the statues.
If you're afraid you can't make it up there, I'm sure Master
I am
will
a
mind if you don't
terrific
clean the
climber.
statue.
I'm a terrific glider.
Huh? I guess I'll leave it up to you then. There's not much footing once you reach the statue, so be careful up there. Paimon will fly up with you and help you with those hard-to-reach areas.
Aww. I
by
heard
the
this
way,
quest has
Kale,
made Paimon a
do you
little bit
know
more
anything
likable,
about
but I don't know
the
why.
Archon? You know, what's she like? That depends. Are you referring to Greater Lord Rukkhadevata or Lesser Lord Kusanali? Huh? Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? Oh, is that the name of the former Dendro Archon?
Did the last Dendro Archon die?
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was Sumeru's first Dendro Archon. She created the rainforest as well as the wall of Samiel around the desert. Her works provided a means of peaceful living for everyone. To the people of Sumeru, she's not only a symbol of wisdom, but also of power and kindness.
Ah, she disappeared.
Unfortunately, she disappeared in a great calamity that occurred a few hundred years ago.
Sounds what happened to Raiden Makoto. Oh!
According to what
Are they
Master has told me,
related? The
the
situations,
sages
not the
later found
Archons
a newly born
themselves.
Dendro Archon and whisked her back to Sumeru. To celebrate the reinstatement of their lost deity, the sages dubbed her Lesser Lord Kusanali and let her reside in the sanctuary of Sarastana. Uh-huh. Then what happened?
I'm gonna butcher all these names, I'm so sorry.
I'm not too sure what happened, to be honest. Huh? You're not too sure? But aren't you from Sumeru?
No.
I'm from
Is she?
Sumeru.
Originally?
But
She was kidnapped.
maybe it's difficult to discuss this topic with strangers. If that's the case, then don't worry, we understand. No, it's not that. I'm not trying to hide something from you. Besides, I don't consider you two
Cole's
strangers.
so sweet.
Anyway, you two know Amber, right?
Oh. I mean, I know that they,
Amber?
they were friends already, but how does she know that we know Amber? Outrider of Knights of Favonius, the avid glider from Mondstadt.
That's her. I once lived in Mondstadt for a while, and she helped me a lot during that time. You could even say that she helped me become a new person. There's no one like Amber. She lives
So
life
cute.
to the fullest while always adhering to her strong sense of justice. She's ready to answer the call for action at any moment, but is also very understanding of others. She's like the spark that lights the fire
Why did they
in
just stop
everyone's heart around
animating
her.
her speaking?
If you ask me, she's a prime example of a true outrider. She's the first person anyone coming to Mondstadt will meet. You can't help but be enthralled by her charm and
This is so
enthusiasm,
cute.
causing you to fall in love with the lands of Mondstadt and... sorry. sorry.
We've never seen the side of you, Kale, even though we've only known you for like a few hours.
This is a little different from what
Or like
you
a day.
just described, but one thing's for sure. You really like Amber. Sorry. I was rambling on just now. It must have sounded kind of weird. It's alright,
I hope we get to
Kale.
see more of their
Knowing that
friendship.
you're a friend of
Like
Amber's
notes that they
somehow
write to
makes
each
time
other.
I suddenly feel a lot closer to you. So, how do you know that we've met Amber? Well,
Oh.
after I returned to Sumeru, Amber
Oh,
and
I was gonna say, is it because they wrote letters to each other?
In one letter, she mentioned that Mondstadt was attacked by a fearsome dragon, but the city was saved by a mysterious blonde traveler and their floating companion.
Oh,
I mean,
that's so
you were the ones
cute.
she mentioned in the letter.
I love
the moment
friendship.
I saw you. But, considering everything you've been through that day, I thought it'd be inappropriate to bring it up. Ah, so that's how you knew. Yep. So please know that you two have my complete trust. Really.
Oh, protect Kale at all
But I have been away
costs.
from Sumeru for some time, and I haven't read any books. Sorry. That's alright. You've already helped us a lot. We had never even heard of Greater Lord Rukadevata or the Sanctuary of Surasthana until you mentioned them. Oh, I'm happy that was helpful. There is one thing I want to ask, though. Why do you two want to know
Oh, she's
about
so
the
small.
Archon?
I didn't realize how short she was. I thought she was the same size as Lumine.
So that's
Or is it
why
just
you're
like
here.
the
Thank you for telling me your story.
they're standing in different
Don't
places?
mention it. We are friends after all, right?
We are friends. True, true, true. Also, for people that know the lore, is it explained how they know who the new Archon is? Or is it like chosen? Or is it like the Avatar, where they travel across the land and somehow they know this person is the new Archon? That's interesting to think about, though. But Paimon's might, we are friends. Might, right?
We have a statue to clean.
We do have a
Both have
statue,
my
Queen.
thanks. While you two are up there cleaning, I'll go ahead and inspect the forest canopy. Let's meet back here shortly. Huh. Now that Paimon looks at it, the deity that's carved on the statue is kinda small.
She's small.
Do you think she's supposed
But
to be
imagine
Greater
replacing
Lord
all of these
Rukadevata or
statues.
Lesser Lord
Insane.
Kusanali?
So it's addressed here. Maybe Lesser Lord
The name does
Kusanali.
seem to fit the statue somehow.
Isn't it kind of mean to call the new Archon Lesser Lord versus Greater Lord? I feel like that's a little disrespectful to the new Archon, no?
Paimon will fly up and take care of the top, and you clean everything below. Nice work. That's one clean statue. Let's head down and meet up with Kale.
Look at her sit on the little stump!
Kale, we're back.
The log.
Welcome back. You must be tired after all that climbing. Let's take a little break. I brought some fruit and water for us.
She's so cute.
What kind of goodies did you bring? Hey, don't be a party pooper. It's not like Kale is a stranger or anything. Besides, the best way to compliment a chef is to show passion for their food. Xiangling taught Paimon that. I prepared a nice portable dish that forest rangers like to eat called pita pockets.
Pita pockets?
I hope you'll like them.
Ah! That's so funny.
Whoops! Ah, no! You dropped it on the ground!
So dramatic.
I wrapped a few layers of oiled paper around each pita. They should be fine. Oh, whew. Paimon nearly had a heart attack there.
I'm excited to see the Sumeru food. Like all the food that you can cook.
Thank goodness you wrapped them in paper. Paimon wouldn't have been able to sleep at night knowing something so tasty had been wasted. You really know how to compliment the chef, Paimon. Since you liked it so much, I'll be sure to give you a copy of the recipe sometime. I'll even include all my personal
Do we get to
cooking
make our own
orders,
pita
so you'll be
pockets?
making your own pita pockets in no time. Yay! Thanks, Kale! It's hard to believe someone as diligent as you could have clumsy moments too. Oh, happens from time to time. So, Kale, don't you think that Tighnari's a little too strict with you? He won't let you touch anything without his permission. Paimon knocks stuff over all the time flying around the Traveler, but she's never said anything.
That's mostly just because
Clumsy moments.
Traveler just doesn't talk in general, I feel.
No, you've got the wrong idea about Master. Sure, he may seem a bit harsh at first, but with some time, you'll see that he's actually very kind-hearted. I've heard the veteran rangers say that Master is from some ancient and mysterious race that is known for their cunning wit and reclusive nature.
Is there a whole... Well, that does make sense that there'd be a whole group of
heard of the
characters with
Academia, right?
ears and tail.
There's a group called, something? Well, anyway, because Master does a lot of research on plants, sages from the Academia have written him many times, inviting him to take up an official position there. But Master declines their offers every time, saying,
Sumeru City's too noisy?
It'd be bad for my ears.
Speaking of his ears, I'd really like to pet them. True, 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 true.
I know, right? I've always wanted to pet them too.
Speaking of the thoughts of all the the players playing this quest right now.
He left the rainforest to take up a position at the Academia, but he chose to stay here instead as a forest watcher, helping the locals every day and passing on his knowledge to trainees.
I mean, that's kind of sweet.
Master's the one who taught me how to make pita pockets. Really?
I'll give him more credit.
Oh, speaking of Tighnari, he was the one who took care of you after finding you passed out yesterday. He even carried you all the way here.
I'll give him more credit.
Paimon's still kinda upset, though. He kept scolding Paimon the entire way here.
What did you do?
No, I'm sorry. Master might have been overreacting a little. But, it's mostly because Paimon wouldn't stop yelling, "Why, oh why? Is she going to die?" It probably...
Man, I would have punted Paimon.
After a while. Hey! Don't laugh! Paimon was genuinely concerned about you. Hey! Now even Kale's starting to laugh. Ugh, that's it! Paimon won't forget this! It's time for some Paimonial wrath!
Paimonial wrath. Her voice is off already wrath.
Touch me!
Oh.
Oh, sorry, Kale. Paimon didn't mean to scare you.
She has trauma.
No, I just... I...
Paimon, you asshole. I know it wasn't intentional.
Are you okay? What's the matter? No, I'm fine.
Oh, no!
Oh, well, it's getting late now. Let's hurry back to Gandharville. I think Master and the others should be back by now, too. Huh? What was up with Kale just now? And why is she in such a hurry all of a sudden? Look, she's practically running back.
If Paimon could read the room like a little bit more, I think I would appreciate her character more. But I feel like they paid Paimon to be such an oblivious character. It burns my chickens. I was saying musty dusty people to my friends.
Ah,
Not at my friends.
You've
To my
returned.
friends.
Yep, we're back. Have you seen Kale by any chance?
Oh, Kale? Yes, I saw her go into her room.
Also,
just a
this is the
moment
first
ago.
Genshin character I've seen with this eye shape.
Okay. Guess we'll just have to wait and talk to her tomorrow then.
Give her space. You clearly just burnt her chickens. Ah!
Paimon was thinking all night about what happened with Kale, and still can't figure out what the problem might be.
I guess at least she's thinking about
She's
it.
in a better mood now. Let's go check on her.
Hello, sir.
Ah, it's you two. I was just about to go look for you.
Huh? Tighnari? What are you doing here? Where's Kale?
I came to check on Kale's condition. To put it simply, she's not well.
Aww, she doesn't even have a blanket? Jeez.
She's sick? How could she be... Oh, wait a minute. Could it be because of what Paimon did yesterday?
Okay.
No need to worry. Something as small as you could never harm her. This sickness is something that Kale
I know
has been
she's
dealing
thinking
with for
about
some
it.
time.
Paimon isn't
Kale has been
awful.
more excited than usual since you two arrived. A little too much so, to be honest. She hasn't remembered to take care of herself. I suppose it's understandable, though. She hasn't been around anyone she considered a friend for some time now. It must have been refreshing for her to have you two here.
So, Tighnari, what's really wrong with Kale?
Let's take this conversation elsewhere. Kale
Wait,
just
yeah,
fell asleep
why are they
after
talking
taking
about
her
her
medicine.
right outside her
She
room?
needs some
There aren't
peace and
even any
quiet.
doors. Okay, wait. Her chronic illness. I'm interested to figure out what it is. I'm interested to hear what her
Alright,
condition is.
Let's continue our conversation here, shall we? To be honest, I hadn't realized that you're that honorary knight from Mondstadt until Kale told me just now. I've also heard all about your deeds in Liyue and Inazuma. So, just to clarify, what I'm about to tell you about Kale is not because of who you are or your past feats.
It's because we're friends.
Instead, I am going to tell you
Friendship.
because... Well, because Kale asked me to.
Aw, she
And
trusts
honestly
us.
speaking, I was against Kale revealing her past to you. But she insisted, saying you two treated her with sincerity
I
and as a
love
friend.
Kale.
So now she wishes to reciprocate the gesture.
So, Tighnari,
I'll never play
what
her,
exactly is wrong with
but
Kale?
I like her
You said
character.
this is something she's been dealing with for some time. Just how serious is it?
Right. Ever since she was a child, she's been afflicted with a disease called Elazar.
Elazar?
Yes, it's a disease unique to the lands of Sumeru. It is characterized by dark and hardened scales that form on the body. At first, the afflicted may only feel mild numbness on the affected area of the skin. However, as the disease progresses, one may begin feeling fatigued and even experience peripheral paresthesia.
Oh.
In its final stages,
I thought she was
the
dealing
disease
with like
strips a person of the ability
PTSD.
to control their own body,
Not a
and they effectively
soul.
become completely immobile.
That sounds terrifying.
Oh. Huh?
Wait, hold on. So when Kale seemed to be acting a
Ah,
little clumsily,
Paimon, you
it
asshole.
was because...
Correct. That would be the effects of Elazar, which is precisely why I do not want her carrying or holding anything, lest she ends up hurting herself. With appropriate treatment, the disease can be effectively controlled before it progresses to a more serious stage. However, there is unfortunately still no true cure for Elazar.
I wonder if we'll find the
Nevertheless,
cure through the
Kale's
Archon
mother
quest.
still hoped that there was something out there. She handed Kale over to an organization known as the Fatui after one of their members lied and said they had a cure.
Oh.
What?
This
The
is
Fatui?
where it comes
It
in.
appears you are already familiar with them.
Oh,
That'll save me some explanation.
oh, that's
Anyway,
so
the person who eventually
sad.
rescued Kale and brought her to me for care said that she had been given to a
No.
harbinger known as the Doctor.
Women
I have
look
no
so
idea how
angry.
this doctor managed to do it, but her case of Elazar was completely stable for all the years that Kale was with them. However, Kale's days with the Fatui were anything but pleasant. Kale is a resilient individual and always tries to appear cheerful, but her experience with the Fatui has left deep scars. Even now, she can still feel deathly afraid of someone touching her.
Oh, Paimon had no idea Kale's been through so much suffering.
Oh, by the way, Paimon, Kale wanted me to tell you that she's sorry for scaring you yesterday. She also wanted
She
both of you
doesn't
to
need
know
to
that she's sorry for hiding her
apologize.
illness.
She doesn't need to apologize.
Oh, that's what I said.
None of this is her fault at all.
Literally.
Well said. I hope you'll get a chance to tell her that in person the next time you see her. Kale once thought that it would be impossible for her to have any real friendships. I trust that you two will never let my trainee experience such emotional pain
Oh,
again.
damn.
Don't
I mean,
worry, Tighnari.
it's kinda nice that
We'll
he's
take good
protected.
care of her.
How's her condition now?
Well, it's not too
Hopefully getting
serious at this
better.
point. She overexerted herself the last couple of days, which is what led to her breakdown this time. As long as she has taken her medicine and gets plenty of rest, she should get better. Though, I must admit that Kale's condition was much more stable when she first arrived here in Gandharvaville. She was interested in the work of the forest rangers the moment she saw us. I could see that she was serious about learning, so I felt compelled to ask her to join us.
I wonder
her stamina has gotten much worse recently. Though a moderate
if we
amount
interact
of
with the
physical
Fatui to
exercise
figure
is
out like
always
the
necessary,
cure for
I'm
her,
afraid
or
the
like the treatment for her.
patrols are a little too much for her now.
She
All right.
said you had no
Now that I've
nipples.
told you about Kale's past, I think I'll head into the rainforest to find some ingredients needed for her medicine. I'll see you two later.
Are you talking about the voice lines?
Yeah, we'd like to do something to help Kale too.
All right, but I must warn you two. The rainforest is a dangerous place, especially for someone who's still recovering like the traveler. You must follow closely and listen to every instruction.
So what are we doing now?
Problemo.
Let's go then. We'll be looking for a plant known as lunar lotus. It's often used to help those afflicted with Elazar recover their energy.
Okay. We are looking for treatment for Kale. I see.
Where exactly are we going to find this plant?
There should be lunar lotuses growing somewhere in this area. Let's split up and begin searching. If you could manage to gather 4 of them, that would be sufficient. We'll rendezvous
those,
here
right?
once you've gathered the needed amount.
Sounds good, sir. I'll get your flowers for you. Meet up with tighnari. Hello, sir. I have your flowers.
We found the lotuses you requested.
Let me take a look. Good, very good. These are all excellent quality. I'm quite glad you two came along. Your exploration experience helped save me a lot of time.
I mean, we
It
just
seems
swam
we even
around a
have enough
little
time
and
to
like
stock
picked them
on
up in the
some
water,
other
my
things I
guy.
need.
Hey, tighnari!
Is there a problem? Kale in trouble? Something in trouble?
Tighnari, someone's calling your name. They're dressed like a forest ranger.
Ah yes, that's Amir and the others. But didn't they just set off not too long ago? What are they
Oh,
doing back
his
so
forehead
early?
does look massive.
Let's go find out what's going
Like
on.
Ayaka level massive. I love Ayaka. It's just funny how massive their foreheads are. What do you have? I hope nothing's in danger. They look so sad.
Tighnari, thank goodness we found you here. We were just about to head back and find you at Gandharvaville.
Why does
What's
he only
going
have
on?
3 bows? Not 3 bows. 3 arrows.
We just discovered a withering zone.
Ah.
The withering is back? But the patrol route you were on should have been already clear just a week ago. It reappeared so quickly. Can you tell me the exact location?
It's up ahead, deep in the river valley. It's appeared in a spot that blocks nearly the entire narrow part of the valley area, so we decided to come find you as quickly as possible.
And the radius of the contamination?
Sorry, I couldn't get a clear enough view to tell.
No one in our patrol team had a vision, and it appeared to still be
I was wondering
spreading,
what the background
so
was,
we
like
didn't
lore-wise,
risk
what
getting
the
any
withering
closer.
zones were?
Okay, I understand. You made the right decision. I'll go deal with it right away.
We can help with the
In
withering.
meantime, please guide these two back to Gandharvaville.
No, we can help with the withering.
Tighnari,
Well, maybe not
why don't you let
Paimon,
us help
but
you?
I can help.
You two have only just arrived in SUMERU. You're still unfamiliar with many
I cleared
things
a
in
withering
this
zone
area.
yesterday, sir.
There's
It's
a
fine.
unique
We're chill.
type of anomaly
It's
that
all
occurs
good.
in the SUMERU rainforest. It's called the withering.
It took me a while to figure it out, but we got it.
The affected areas not only cause nearby vegetation to wither, but it's also lethal to wildlife and even people. If you don't carry a vision, then you should think twice before
Joke's on
approaching such
you.
places.
We don't carry a vision, but we have
Yes,
control
Amir is
of
absolutely right.
the
I
elements.
wasn't kidding when I said the
We're like a little
rainforest is
avatar.
dangerous place. As Amir said, only someone with a vision, that is, the power to manipulate elements, will be able to resist the withering.
No, him explaining a vision to us. I thought he knew
That's
about our
right. If
background.
any of the forest rangers without a vision come across a withering zone, we first make a record of the location and then have a ranger with the proper abilities deal with it, like Tighnari here.
I feel like Tighnari
Only
just
someone with
mansplained a vision
can
to
venture
us.
within a withering
I know
zone
that was
and
not the
find a way to
intention, just
deal
felt
with
like it. I can also control the elements.
You don't seem to carry a vision.
We're just that cool.
Don't worry, she may not have a vision, but she's a real pro at using the power of the elements.
I kind of like that Paimon speaks for us
It
sometimes.
seems the rumors about
She's
you are
our
true.
personal hype
In
man.
that case, all right, you two may accompany me.
But be careful.
We typically only teach visitors how to identify the withering as they're about to leave Gandharvaville. We'll make an exception today, and show you what it looks like up close. Stop. Don't move any further. Look there in the distance.
Huh? Where? Oh, look! Those plants have withered!
Ah, these plants. I was like, what are we looking at aside from the fog?
Like it's filled with ash. Oh, Paimon doesn't like the look of this.
That is the withering. Alright, traveler. We're going to have to enter that withering zone. Once inside, we'll need to look for what we call tumors of the withering. If we eliminate those, then the area will be saved. Thank you, but I must warn you. Don't push yourself. This is your first time handling this sort of thing after all. Even with elemental powers, once you step inside the withering zone, you may experience extreme discomfort. If at any point it becomes too much, return outside the zone and take a breather. It could become a matter of life and death.
It's okay if we die.
You ready then?
We have revival food. Back to exploration. Oh, 60%. Nice.
Sustaining the withering zone.
Okay. We summon the Dendrogana, right? And then we... Oh. Then we charge attack? Is this one of the branches? I'm gonna hope so. Oh. Cool.
We did it! Everything's returning to normal now!
Yes, thanks to you two. We were able to quickly
the new
restore
event
this area
just
back to normal.
getting rid of the areas of withering?
Tighnari? You make it sound like we did well, but why does Paimon have the feeling you're worried about something?
It's that obvious, huh? Alright, it's like this. Recently, the rate at which the withering zone appears has been increasing. Even though we were able to quickly clear that withering zone, it won't be long before another one appears. If that simply meant more work for me, then that wouldn't be an issue. But it's far more severe than that. The withering is leaving lasting effects on the rainforest.
I wonder how many
itself.
vision holders there are
For instance,
in terms of
even
like
though
the
we
general
cleared out the withering
population
zone,
versus
many of the
non-vision
plants that were
holders.
affected will not recover.
Ah.
This presents a crisis for the ecosystem itself. Many plants in the rainforest are already in decline, directly impacting the wildlife that depends on those plants. And most disturbingly, as the appearances of withering zones have started to increase, Kale's case of Elazar has also become more serious.
So are they tied to each other?
Huh? Well, why is that?
I'm still not sure of the exact reason. However, I've received word from acquaintances at the academia that similar cases are being reported for patients with other conditions. No, none that we know of. The withering has been recorded in Sumeru for millennia. It's said that it originates from the depths of the world. By the way, have you heard of Irminsul before?
Is that the festival that Nilu was talking about in the teaser?
Irminsul is a tree located
No,
deep
it is
beneath
not.
the surface. Although it isn't like any tree we know
Not
in a
at all.
biological sense. You can basically think of it as a
I was
large tree that
debating
grows
between the
downwards
tree
rather than
and
upwards.
the
I'm
festival.
sure you've heard of
I got it
ley lines,
wrong,
right?
but
They're
that's
like the
okay.
roots of Irminsul, spreading and extending from a massive cavern deep underground all the way up to the surface.
Yeah, didn't I describe the same to Tighnari
Ley
earlier?
lines continually absorb the memories of this world, which are then funneled into Irminsul, allowing it to collect knowledge and wisdom from ancient times to present day. The Dendro Archon is known as the God of Wisdom because her consciousness is directly connected to it. It is also said that the Dendro Archon's power is
So what
a
happens when it burns
manifestation of
down?
Irminsul. And as for the Withering, its emergence is related to a disease that's affecting it. That's right. My ancestors learned of this from Greater Lord Rukadevata's familiars a long time ago. But even those mysterious creatures did not know of a cure for Irminsul. I'm afraid we rangers will be battling the Withering Zones here for a long time until a cure is found. Alright, that's enough on this topic for the time being. Now that we've taken care of things here, it's time for us to head back to Gandharvaville.
Third time's a charm, I guess.
Oh, Tighnari, you all made it back. How did it go?
The withering
It
zone
went
you
fine.
reported has been taken care of. No need to worry. Huh. Wait, is that?
What a dumb-looking bird.
Oh,
Birds
no,
are so
Hypatia.
scary. Oh, is it his pet? Oh, sorry, I called it dumb.
Huh? What's wrong, Tighnari?
This Duskbird is Hypatia's designated courier for urgent news. You do remember her, don't you? She's the scholar you and Paimon were following when you first arrived in Sumeru.
Oh, yes.
Her?
The one that unintentionally drugged us.
So did something happen?
Let me see what's written in the letter first. Oh.
So what's it say? And what's with that weird expression on your face? Just like
You can't call people's faces weird, Paimon.
all Paimon sees are 3 squids.
It's offensive.
Yes, allow me to explain. After we brought you from Hypatia's cave to Gandharvaville, Hypatia resumed her meditation. She must have just finished. It's been nearly 3 days since she's had anything to eat, and it appears she's forgotten to prepare some rations.
Oh,
This
we
letter
can
is her
take them to
asking us
her.
for help. We need
We can
to
just
go.
TP there.
What? You mean she's been sitting there for 3 days? Hey, wait, how did you know all that from just a few lines on the paper?
Well, obviously because this has happened before.
He's so
Last time she drew
sassy.
5 lines.
Jeez.
And by the time we found her... well, I'd prefer not to remember that. Needless to say, Hypatia's been through worse, but we should still get to her as quickly as possible. I've got some emergency rations set aside for times like these. Paimon, Traveler,
Gonna bring her
could
pita
you two bring
pockets.
these to her?
Wait, you want us to bring her the rations? But will the traveler
Paimon can
be
bring it to
okay if
her.
her cave is still filled with that funny incense?
Let's find out. Here, Traveler, take a smell and see. So, how do you feel?
So funny.
Huh? Really?
I like how we just
Really?
willingly
Even a
sniff
little
things from random people. I feel like you shouldn't do that in real life.
How'd you know that she'd be okay this time, Tighnari?
Back when we were clearing the withering zone, I observed that she could adeptly manipulate the dendro element. I knew then that she would be fine. And if I may ask, when I was telling you two about Irminsol's ley lines, was what I described similar at all to what you saw while you were unconscious?
They were hallucinations.
That's correct. Those weren't hallucinations at all. Though I don't intend to apologize for deceiving you.
I wonder if there's
Because
a
what
current
you
vision
saw
of what the
is of
tree looks like or a
significant
future
importance.
vision.
Not just for the nation of Sumeru, but the entire world of Tevat. My forefathers were shown much favor by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. We took an oath to protect this nation together with her. Now that that duty has fallen to me, it was part of my responsibilities to ascertain whether you could be entrusted with the fate of Sumeru. Now, after seeing you in action with my own eyes, you
We
have earned my
rescued
confidence, and I
Hinazuma,
no
Liyue,
longer feel the need
Mondstadt,
to hide
and
any
that's not
secrets
enough
from you.
proof. I see. No longer feel any hide secrets, so what exactly
When you
was it I
passed out,
saw?
Your consciousness had connected directly with Irminsul. What you witnessed were actually real memories
Oh.
contained within Irminsul itself.
I
could
wonder if
try
the
to tell you more,
earpieces
but it would be
that
better
have been
if you
shown
went
to us
ask
connect to
Hypatia
Irminsul?
instead. Her focus
think
on
so, though.
meditation and use of spirit borneal are aimed at establishing a connection with
You put
Irminsul.
so much emphasis
Just
on the
as you
word
did.
borneal.
That sounds nice and all, but will she really help us? Seriously, she completely ignored us the last time we tried talking to her.
That was because when you ran into her, she was in a special phase of her training. During that time, she must avoid communicating with others.
Oh.
Please, wait here for a moment.
Interesting. This is a long pause. Dumb looking bird.
Here, take these. It's a meal I packed for Hypatia, as well as some other ingredients. I'm sure it'll come in handy. Also, here's a letter that I would like you to give to her. Just show it to her and she'll answer any questions you may have.
Thank
No.
you, sir.
I should be the one thanking you. You've both been a great help these last few days.
Okay, onwards.
Aisha should still be in the cave. Let's go inside and see how she's
You
doing.
packed her a little box lunch. Okay, hello lady. Here is your lunch delivery.
Hypatia!
Went from looking to her for a brother to becoming a DoorDash service.
Maybe she went out to look for some food. Let's try looking around the area.
Oh? Did she pass out? Oh! Oh! Hello, hello! Oh. Let me see if I can pause. Stop looking around, Lumine! Hello! Oh. I can pause here. Okay. Hello, lady! Oh! It's so cute! Hi! Oh. Hi, Minerva. No, Nevra. Welcome on. My Nevra. Welcome on and thank you for the follow. Hope your day is going well. It's like a little Totoro. Oh. Did it make us pass out? Huh? Not the shocked traveler face. Not the unamused traveler face.
There you are.
Were we missing?
Hypatia, are you alright?
So hungry. Eat water.
Surprised she's talking.
We can get her to eat in her current condition. Let's
You
try
mean you
finding some
packed a
water
lunchbox?
first.
You didn't pack water? Sir!
Wait, why does it look super foggy outside all of a sudden? Anyway, let's go look around.
Okay, go through the mist. We'll do.
Huh? How'd things out here end up looking like this?
Oh!
What happened?
Whoa! There must be a logical explanation for all this. We're on drugs, questionably.
Really? Oh, maybe you're right. Let's go investigate the area.
Proceed onward. See? This all reminds me of the Tinkerbell movie. For good reason, I feel. Oh wait, no.
Wow.
Is this an actual area? Never mind.
I knew there's something off about that cave. Let's think of a way to get over there and have a closer look. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a lead of some kind.
What is that? That is a special cave? You'll find bounty mushrooms. Why? I'm just a fool. I saw the thing. I didn't think to use the thing. Oh? More drug stuff. Thank you for the...
Just now? Why'd everything around us suddenly change?
I feel like they just reused the golden apple causeway area. Oh! More trippiness! Keep looking for a path to the upper level of the tree hollow. Ooh. It's so pretty though! Ooh, what is this? You'll sometimes find primevol, rosin, and sealed paths that correspond to them. Collect 3 to unlock the corresponding path. Up. And then I'm assuming we go through this top. We came from there. I'm assuming we take this top path. What is this? Whoa! Whoa! What? Whoa! This is so cool! Are we going into the big flower? I don't know. I don't think I can control where we're going, right? I'm just flopping along. Wherever the wind takes us. I'm confused, but I am appreciative of how pretty the domain is. I'm assuming this is a domain. I'm confused but appreciative. I feel like they put a lot of work into this. To the door! Wow, I feel like a little fairy. Oh! Where are we gonna get TP to now? Investigate the courtyard far down the corridor.
What the Tibet is going on here? This place is getting weirder by the minute. Hey, what's the matter? You don't look so good.
Oh, this is the same room from that one samurai, like the Paper Samurai event. Oh, I am investigating the courtyard. Oh, you connect these. I remember. Okay. Ooh. Trippy. Investigate the corridor on the other side over here. Wait, actually, not memeing. There are 10 luxurious chests? There's no way. It's fine, it's fine. It's not fine. I'm just a little lazy. Go to the upper platform. In this room? Or did I miss it? You can go back before you end. Is it worth it? Oh! This is terrifying.
Looks like we meet again, traveler.
My sleep demons. In the form of an Abyss Herald.
What are you planning to do in this strange place?
Oh, is this not a hallucination?
Clotting. You needn't worry about such things. They don't concern you.
That's a little mean. Oh, you're not a hallucination.
Emerge.
Never mind.
Emerge.
I thought you were. See, why is the fighting music so loud, but the other music is so quiet? Oh.
Huh? Why can't we beat this guy? Oh, Paimon doesn't get it. We faced others like him before.
It's our sleep demons haunting us.
Though you may have managed to avert.
Imagine the person who had to voice act this.
Your good fortune was bound to end sooner or later. It's time you realize.
There has to be a voice mod on them, right? Is that their natural voice? My germ must find my brother.
Oh, pitiful traveler. Are you really so ignorant?
I'm saying we're tripping.
Or are you just living in complete denial? His Highness has long since forsaken you.
Or maybe not.
Your meager existence in his eyes is that of an
She looks very unamused.
only to be stepped upon.
Now she looks angry and amused.
The bonds of love and family which drive you to find your sibling are utterly gone. Your journey is meaningless.
It would have been cooler if in that scene,
Don't you
like in the panning, he had just disappeared when we passed the little leaf. Now die. I'm assuming no fighting. Yes, she was tripping. Does Paimon come up to us like, oh, there you were now?
What do we do? We haven't seen Hypatia anywhere out here. Oh, there she is! Quick, let's see how she's doing.
Interesting.
So sweet.
This is all so strange.
She's still conscious. Hey, why'd you drop her food on the floor like that?
Oh, sorry. Kinda zoned out, my bad.
You okay? That's really not like
I
you.
hope the food was also wrapped in oil
We
paper.
can talk about this later. We better make sure she's alright first. Whoa, wait a sec. Look at all this
Oh.
fruit lying around her.
Oh, was
We
it the
can put
little
that to good
Totoro-looking
use.
spirit guy that gave her fruit earlier? That would be really cute if so. Also, the fruit looks massive. It's like double the size of her head.
Who is
My
there?
foot is in the ground.
Tighnari, is that you?
Oh, her voices. Beautiful.
Huh?
I like her voice.
You can relax, Hypatia. Tighnari sent us here to bring you some food and water. Here, we have a letter that he asked us to give you.
Just a lot of quiet noise. It's taking her a while to read this letter.
So, you're friends of Tighnari. I apologize for all the trouble I've
Her
caused
voice is
you.
so pretty.
I'm grateful that you came so quickly to save me. You even brought all this fruit.
No, we dropped her food on the floor, actually.
We didn't
Sorry,
bring
lady.
the fruit. It was already here when we arrived. We were kind of wondering about that, actually. When we found you here, there was all this fruit lying around.
So sketchy, what?
How did you end up like this anyway?
Oh, really? I seem to understand now. All the fruit was likely from my, neighbor. Must have come by and saw me like this.
Your neighbor? You mean there's someone else living nearby?
It's like a little round creature, kind of like a cabbage, kind of like a
Oh.
cabbage.
So, you're able to see them too?
Oh, I wonder if because she meditates that she's able to see it, or if she's just like born with it.
Hold on a second, Traveler.
Maybe it's meditating.
You
Maybe
say
it's
that
Maybelline.
Before we arrived,
Who knows?
you saw some mysterious creature and suddenly had a strange dream? Isn't that a little too crazy to believe?
No, I actually do believe what the traveler is saying. I myself had a similar experience once before, and
Why is
ended
the
up
fruit
scaring
so
my timid
big?
little neighbor here. You needn't worry. They mean you no harm. They only dragged you into the dream because they hoped to buy themselves a little time in order to
Nightmare
scare you
fuel?
away.
In order to buy themselves time?
Just what kind of creature is your neighbor exactly?
I'm not sure what it's called, to be honest. But I do know that they have some sort of deeper connection with the Dendro Archon.
Interesting.
I know this because the first time I saw them was also the exact day my consciousness was able to form a connection with Irmin's
Oh,
soul.
I thought we were special. Some more people
Even
can
after
make
I
a
opened my
connection.
eyes and stopped meditating, my heart was still pounding, and my mind was racing with all the knowledge that I had touched. And at that very moment, I suddenly noticed a small figure at the
look at
opening
him
of the
dance!
cave.
Look at him
In
go!
my curiosity,
This is so
I
cute.
began to walk over to the creature.
I hope they make little
They
plushies of
must
this.
have already been used to me living in the cave, because they didn't seem to mind me approaching them. They just kept doing whatever they were up to. It wasn't until I crouched down next to them that they suddenly realized that I could see them.
Oh, and then?
And then I had a dream. By the time I came to, they were nowhere to be seen. I was convinced they'd never show up again. But sure enough, I saw them nearby a few days later. And they weren't alone. I feel like they aren't as afraid of me as the first time I approached them. But I never would have expected them to save me.
Sounds like a great neighbor.
Yes, no doubt about that. By the way, Tighnari mentioned in his letter that you had questions for me regarding Irmin's soul.
Oh, we can give you food.
Sorry about that. Sounds like just drinking juice still isn't quite enough for my stomach.
Well,
Are we
if
nearing
somebody
the
hadn't
end
dropped
of the first part of the
food
quest?
earlier. Anyway, looks like we'll need to prepare something ourselves. Besides, Paimon's
We're gonna make
giving
pita
us
pockets for
food.
her.
Let's eat first and talk about Irmin's soul later. Alright, we're out, Traveler. Today's menu
Oh, never
will
mind.
feature
No pita
sweet
pockets.
madame and
Sweet
a
madame.
radish veggie soup. You'll love them, Hypatia. They're our specialties after all.
Why'd she say it like that?
Sounds good. I've never tried any dishes from other nations before. I certainly look forward to it. It's been so long since I've had a decent meal, too. To be honest,
Kind of looks like,
the
not looks
last
like, kind of
time
sounds like
had to be
Raiden.
when
Is it the
Tighnari
same
came
voice
to
actor?
visit.
Actress? Oh, we didn't even need to light it.
All done. Let's use the empty box that Tighnari gave us since we already washed it.
To when we wash it.
Oh, it smells amazing. And the box is a nice touch, too. Let's go serve this up and start eating with Hypatia.
Take my food, lady.
Are you already finished cooking? Smells delectable. I'm truly thankful whenever I can enjoy a proper meal like this. Cooking really isn't my forte.
Take my box lunch. What does it say? Food that you specifically prepared. Sumadam radish veggie soup. How do we get a bowl? Also, how do we have just a whole chicken with us?
mentioned was in Tighnari's letter. It's still hard to believe you were able to connect with Irminsul.
I wonder if it
Immediately
takes like
after
years
smelling
for them to
spirit
connect with
bone for the first
Irminsul.
time. It took me nearly
Yeah,
3 years before I could
3
do
years.
so. And everyone at the academia
Oh.
even lauded me as a genius. You should know that some researchers spent their entire lives without ever successfully connecting with Irminsul as you have.
So why does this incense allow people to connect to Irminsul?
The ingredients used to make spirit-born ale primarily consist of plants created by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. These special ingredients are conducive to heightening our senses to
Oh,
the
interesting.
Dendro Archon's power. Since the root of the Dendro Archon's power lies within Irminsul, we can
But what is
occasionally
the
tap
point of
into
it?
our powers
I think
to
I
peer into
understand.
the depths of the earth.
Just to like widen their knowledge, or what else do they gain from it?
Anyone who can establish a connection with Irminsul in their first ever attempt must be a person of great understanding.
Makes sense. But Paimon's got a question. Why was she sensitive to the smell of those plants for such a long time?
That was primarily due to her body's unique constitution. Stimulated by the incense, she could perceive the Dendro Archon's power and experience the sensory overload, hence the adverse reactions. Taking in any scent similar to the ingredients of spirit-born ale would cause adverse effects. Not to worry though, it appears you've already fully recovered. Technically, your body should still be sensitive to the powers of the Dendro Archon, but unless you're using intentional meditation techniques, the scent of spirit-born ale should no longer trigger such reactions.
Whew. Well, that's a relief.
Interesting.
I must admit, I am quite envious of your abilities. Even if it meant suffering from pounding headaches for the rest of my life, I'd consider it
That's
worthwhile
insane.
as long as I could connect with Irminsul
She
at
would
will.
Want to have migraines
You're really serious about this whole
in
thing,
order
aren't
to
you?
connect to this tree.
I am a researcher after all. As a member of the Ritaoist Archon at the Academia, my main area of research
it's
is
a
the
little
stars
dude.
and their connection to the fate of living beings. But there is still so much we don't know, especially regarding the mysteries that lie in the starry skies. Which is why I must turn to the all-knowing Irminsul for answers. If only my perception wasn't so limited. Unfortunately, I cannot guarantee that my every attempt to attune with Irminsul will be successful, or that doing so will leave my consciousness intact. I am currently in the stage of training known as Satyavada life. Many researchers in Sumeru have lost their minds
What
while
the
seeking
heck?
to attune with Irminsul during this stage.
Why are they so
Sages have
dedicated to
said
this
that
tree?
Irminsul contains divine knowledge, and touching such knowledge without the proper preparations and abilities will only lead to one's mind caving in on
How can you
itself.
not like him? He's so
That's why we
cute.
meditate alone. We need to ensure that our minds will be calm while minimizing the possibility of involving anyone else.
Whoa. So knowledge from Irminsul can be super dangerous. Aren't you afraid of the risks, Hypatia?
Of course I do. Especially during nights that are pitch black with no moonlight, and dead silent without even the sound of insects. However,
Oh,
I've been feeling better
she
as of
spotted
late.
him.
I don't get as scared anymore knowing that I have a little neighbor
A
living
little
nearby.
neighbor that delivers
I believe that
food.
being able to see them is a sort of blessing from the Dendro Archon. But what's strangest of all is that they're clearly an envoy of the God of Wisdom herself, and they have the curious power to make people dream.
Aww, a little bit of nightmare fuel, but yes, it was a mostly cute dream. I agree. Are we talking about the little dudes?
It doesn't sound so out of place for a divine being, does it?
Well, it's strange because nearly nobody in Sumeru can
Oh,
ever dream.
right. I
Is
forgot.
that true?
Oh, I
Yes,
forgot that was a
well,
thing.
To an extent. Only children can dream in Sumeru. Adults, however, never do.
Is there a reason? Well,
The
there
sages
has to be a
say that
reason. They
wisdom
explain it
implies
probably.
rationality, but that which occurs in dreams is often neither rational nor logical. Yes, if one struggles with anxieties, those emotions could influence their dreams. The fact that the people of Sumeru do not have dreams
See,
is seen
they
as a
didn't give us
blessing by the
nightmare fuel.
sages.
We just have
They
anxiety.
believe that Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, the God of Wisdom, is keeping us away from the foolish delusions you encounter in your sleep.
I
was
love.
born
Well,
into a
no,
family of
I don't love
scholars in
dreams if they're
Sumeru
bad.
City.
But good dreams are great.
Ever since I was a child, my parents would always tell me that I'll know I've grown up once I stop dreaming. I studied hard, enrolled as a student in the academia, and went on to become a researcher. Sure enough, I never dreamed again. But then, on the day I scared the little Aranara, I suddenly saw a dream again. It was incredible. Though I don't exactly remember what I saw.
Aww. See,
I
little
clearly
dude's
recall
good.
the feeling.
To me.
I suddenly felt like I was a child again.
He is beautiful
Back
to
then,
me.
I was foolish and ignorant as any youth would be. But I was free of fear. Maybe dreaming isn't as bad as we've made it out to be. Just be sure not to speak of this if you travel to Sumeru City. They'll look at you as if you've lost your mind.
But she's lauded as a genius. I wonder how they would react if she said it.
Saw when she connected with Irminsul?
Sorry. I'm afraid I don't have any answers as of now. All I can say is that what you saw is a memory contained
Okay,
within
it's a
Irminsul
memory,
itself.
so it wasn't present time, nor future.
World forget me. What could that possibly mean? If only I could ascend past Satyavada life and begin Paripurna life. I might have some more answers for you. If you two are ever in the area again, please be sure
Thank
to
you,
come soon.
lady.
There's no need to be thanking me. You two are my saviors. Besides, I'm already looking forward to tasting some more of your cooking.
Okay, cool. Do we
Now
go
that
back to
we know
Tighnari
Hypatia is
now?
all right, and had the chance to ask her some questions, Paimon thinks it's about time to head back to Gandharvaville.
Okay, back to Tighnari. Maybe we'll see Kale. Return. Farewell, lady. Oh, there's no waypoint close enough. We can go here first. Hello, Tighnari.
Think about it, Tighnari. Refusing to join is
Oh,
tantamount
wow.
to burying
Oh,
your
it's the
head in
academia.
sand. I understand that you're a
Tantamount.
forest watcher and that it's your duty to combat the effects of withering zones. But isn't it evident that such work is not a lasting solution to the problem? As Sage Kage clearly stated, your
He has no
presence and
nose.
guidance in
It's like
Sumeru
Voldemort.
City is pivotal in finding a cure for Irminsul. How could you possibly refuse?
Keep your emotions in check, Gulam. Let's at least listen to Tighnari's reason for declining. We're here to invite him to the academia, not to cause a scene.
Sage Kage, I am truly honored that you came here in person, but I'm afraid I must still decline your invitation. I am merely a forest watcher. How could the great minds of the Haravatat have any need of someone like me?
Well, it turns out that your refusal letter had some implications on your master's reputation. He is a renowned sage of the Immorta, after all. So
who's his
now
master?
I've come here in his stead.
I see. Huh. And I figured that given his temper, he would come here and berate me personally.
Huh.
Your master is an integral part of this effort, and now he requires your assistance.
I'm gonna assume not another
And what
playable
exactly
character.
does my master need of me, Sage Kage?
So sassy! I'm a fan, kind of.
You'll know
His
once
sassiness
you've
is growing on
arrived in
me.
Sumeru City, that is.
And how long will I be required to stay?
There's
I
no
like that he sets his
definite
boundaries,
answers
you know?
now.
Do you mean to tell me that despite coming all the way here to Gandharvaville, you still can't answer the questions I laid out in the letter to my master?
Look
If
at
that's the
him
case, then I'm
setting
afraid I cannot give
boundaries.
you a definite
Good on
answer.
him.
Tighnari, but you...
There's no buts.
So be it. Come, Gulam, we're leaving.
Not the look up and down. Poke your eyes out.
Tighnari, what was that all about?
It's nothing. Some people from the academia wanted me to go to Sumeru City to assist them with a project, but I had to refuse on account of all my responsibilities here. But all that can wait. How did things go with Hypatia?
It was quite the eventful trip, but the main thing is that she's safe and sound. She answered a bunch of questions for us, too.
Very good. Now that the traveler has made a full recovery, there shouldn't be any reason for you to tarry here long.
Oh, we get to head to the city now.
I assume you'll be heading to Sumeru City, correct?
That's right! We want to meet Lesser Lord Kusanali and ask her for advice. Do you have any idea on how we can find her?
Sorry, I'm afraid I don't have any advice for you there.
Well, do you at least know anyone we can try asking in Sumeru City?
Let me think. My trips to Sumeru City have been fairly short, and most of my acquaintances are researchers. How about this? I'll write you a letter of introduction that you can give to a researcher I know. He's from the Amorta Darshan and is adept at gathering information.
Is this another playable character? I can't really see Owl being a researcher, though.
Also, when you enter Sumeru City, you'll probably end up receiving something like this item here. I'm not sure if it will ever come in handy for you, but maybe you can give it a try.
Is it the earpiece?
What is it?
I'm gonna assume it's the earpiece.
It's called an Akasha Terminal.
Oh,
It's a tool produced by the Academia that utilizes the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata.
Academia, derogatory.
Is the basis of Sumeru's reputation as the city of wisdom. Needless to say, this device and its usage fall under the Academia's expertise, so I'll leave it to them to show you how to use it.
Great! Next up, Sumeru City!
Oh, we have to say goodbye to Kale, though, before we leave.
Wait, before that, that's right. Tighnari,
Is she still resting, though? It's so it'll be so sad if we don't get to say bye.
Yes, she's doing much better.
Okay.
After being confined to her bed all this time, I thought a little walk would do her some good. Last I saw her, she was taking the path towards the North Crossing. She knew you two would be leaving soon, so she must have wanted to see you off.
Thanks, Tighnari. All right, let's go.
Farewell, and good luck to you both.
To Kale! So we can say bye.
I've been waiting for you two. Never mind. I guess I should just wish you two a safe and successful journey. Thanks for waiting here just to see us off, Kale.
We'll see you soon. We will see you soon. Hopefully you don't get any worse, but I'm assuming with the Archon quest you will get worse.
My condition won't be getting in the way of my duties. I want to be a forest ranger after all. It's up to me and the others to protect the rainforest here. And,
Don't say sorry!
I should have told you both about my condition.
Nothing to apologize for.
I just wanted you two to treat me as a normal friend.
We literally made friends across Teyvat. They're probably a little bit stranger.
I guess now I understand that the most important thing is for friends to be genuine with one another.
Aww.
There's no need to apologize, Kale. We should be thanking you for trusting us enough to be your friends and sharing your past with us. We're probably still gonna worry about your condition, but that's because we're friends and we care about you. Thank you. That means a lot. Before you leave,
What do we
I
get?
have something for you.
Is it something relating to gliding?
What is it? It's my recipe for pita pockets.
Oh, it's the pita pocket recipe! Even better.
My handwriting is a little, messy, so please don't laugh.
Wait, so she can write?
Thanks, Kale. Now we can eat.
I thought someone said she was illiterate.
Whenever and wherever we like. I hope that whenever you eat them, you'll both remember your time here in Gandharvaville. Well then, trainee forest ranger Kale.
Oh, I love Kale. She has grown on me more than I thought she would.
The rangers will always be ready to assist you here.
Okay, part 1 done? Part 1 done! Beautiful! So I'm excited to continue on. Not today, but I'm excited to continue on Monday. Continue on with the Archon quest, entering Sumeru City for the first time. Well, canonically entering for the first time. I've already gone through the city, to be honest.
Sumeru City! We finally made it! Oh, did you see that? When those people entered the city, something on their heads lit up.
Oh, does it get into the backstory of, like, the earpieces?
One moment, please, you two. It appears this is your first time visiting Sumeru City.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But how did you know that?
Because there's currently no information on either of you in the Akasha. But no need to worry, that won't
Oh,
prevent you from
that's
entering
kind
the
of
city.
scary. It's kind
In
of Big
fact,
Brother-esque.
The Academia conveniently provides each traveler to SUMERU City with a device. Perhaps you two have heard of the Akasha before. It's our beloved Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's lasting legacy, a treasure trove of collected knowledge. After centuries of tireless research on the Akasha,
So are
the
they all like
Academia
hooked up
created
onto
one
a
of its most
database?
ingenious
I'm sure
inventions,
it's gonna
the
explain.
Akasha Terminal. As long as you are within SUMERU's borders, you may use an Akasha terminal to connect directly to the Akasha and access any knowledge you need. I should mention that due to technical limitations, the operation of Akasha terminals will be much smoother and more effective in large cities such as SUMERU City and Port Ormos.
Oh, so this is the thing that Tighnari was telling us about. It sounds pretty amazing.
You two
Interesting.
are quite fortunate. Until recently, it was standard practice to only issue Akasha terminals to outlanders who spent an extended amount of time in SUMERU. However, this policy was recently changed, and now all travelers are issued one upon arrival. Here are your Akasha terminals. Please handle them with care.
It kind of looks like a leaf.
I have
To activate
feelings
it,
about this.
simply hold it in your hand and
But
say
I'll
the
hold them
following
until
phrase
after
to
this.
yourself. May the mighty God bless us with their voice of wisdom.
Oh, says this little doodad lets you access knowledge. Maybe we can use it to find a way to meet Lesser Lord Kusanali. Let's give it a try. May the mighty God bless us with their voice of wisdom.
Okay, quick pause here. I just would be like, it's just very Big Brother-esque, you know? Like the 1984 Big Brother, that's my reference I'm making here. Just, I would be kind of concerned if I could have access to the information in the system. Could they have access to the information in my brain? I also have grown up with like a WeChat mom who's a very conspiracy theorist. So maybe that's where I'm getting this from, to be honest. But I would be nervous about using it for the first time. I feel like I need more warnings. But maybe that's just me. Strange.
Whoa. Just now, something clicked. And Paimon
Whoa.
suddenly knew how to use this thing. It seems all we need to do is concentrate on what we want to know. And bam! You get it. Oh, that'll come in real handy.
Exactly. That is the power of the Akasha. And with that, let me officially welcome you both to SUMERU City. May the wisdom of the Dendro Archon always be your guide.
Okay, now that we're in, we can check the Akasha about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Let Paimon try. 500 years ago, the sages found a newly born deity from within some scorched ruins. The deity now resides in
Oh,
the
it's the little
sanctuary
pyramid in the
of
back, no?
Siristana.
That we saw in the teaser?
Seems pretty similar to what Kali was telling us. Okay, next, let's concentrate on asking how to meet her.
I mean,
Paimon doesn't
I
say
guess it's nice to
anything.
have, well, I was gonna say, I guess it's nice to have Google,
Akasha didn't
like,
respond to
at
Paimon's question.
arm's reach at all time, or like instant Google searches at all time. That's literally what we have with phones. I feel like this is a little bit invasive, you know? But again, WeChat mom. Maybe I'm just a little too, conspiracy theoristy. That's not a word.
Come on! Ugh. Focusing on this question feels like when you have something you're trying to remember and it's on the tip of your tongue, but you just can't think of it. Ugh, Paimon's brain is exhausted. Oh, smart idea. But what are you going to ask it?
Think less. No. Greater Lord. We'll go for the Greater Lord first. Probably need to calm my mind. Feelings of affection, intimacy, nostalgia, sad.
Uh-oh. Paimon's getting all teary-eyed all of a sudden.
That was a little too fast to
It feels
read.
like the people of SUMERU really miss their Archon.
That kind of sucks for Kusanali, though, no? I feel like their reception really wasn't that loved. just a flaw in the animation? Why you turn around so quickly?
You
No,
too?
it's just an idol, isn't it?
Well, glad it's not just Paimon. Huh. Could it be because we're Outlanders and we've only just arrived in Sumeru? You know, maybe we're not qualified to receive an answer to this sort of question.
Interesting.
Well,
So if you're
no
like
matter
a
which way we try,
part of
we
the
can't
act,
find anything that'll lead us to Lesser Lord
if you're an
Kusanagi.
academic, is that grammar?
Guess our only
If you're an
choice now
academic,
is to
like
try
part of
meeting with
the,
researcher that
like if you're a
Tighnari
researcher,
recommended.
do you have more access to more information? I would assume so. Or it sounds like that's how it's being posed.
Maybe he'll be able to access more info from the
Yeah, if you're part of the academia. Okay, okay.
Let's see.
Interesting.
Tighnari wrote an address
Huh.
with the letters
Nice and shady. Akasha is Google.
It's not far from
A
the
little
city
shady
gate.
than Google. A little shadier than
Let's head
Google.
over and have a look. Hopefully he's at home. Hello, are you Rohawi?
Yes, that's me. Can I help you?
Great. You see, Tighnari sent us here, and
What? Tighnari? Please, there's no need to say anything, really. Sure, I admit that the article I published last month wasn't my best work, and maybe the data didn't produce the most convincing results, but...
This dude's also sketchy. We're not here to discuss academics, sir.
this is a letter from Tighnari.
Oh, let me see... Ah! Ooh, what a relief. You two nearly scared the life out of me. So, you two just have some questions for me? Seems even Tighnari acknowledges my innate ability for procuring information. So, what is it you
Is
two would like to
Tighnari
know?
like the one everyone wants to impress?
To meet with Lesser
What
Lord
is this?
Kusanagi.
Why is he
Do
looking
you
up?
know a way we can do that?
You mean you want to meet the Dendro Archon herself? This isn't exactly my area of expertise, but let me see what I can find in the Akasha. Sorry, the Akasha didn't respond to my query.
What? You
Hmm.
too? But what about your abilities for getting information and all that? Paimon was sure you'd be able to access more info than we did.
Well, as I said, this isn't my area of expertise.
A
I'm but
lowly
lowly
researcher.
The Akasha doesn't see a need for me to know more about the Dendro Archon.
Oh.
All I know is that ever since Lesser Lord Kusanagi returned to Sumeru, she's
Oh,
never left the sanctuary of
interesting.
Surasthana.
That phrase was interesting.
Huh. Didn't expect her to be such a mysterious figure.
The Dendro Archon is somewhat of a recluse. Perhaps she just doesn't want to entertain visitors, which would explain the lack of information in the Akasha.
I wonder if it's possible for the Archon to have less powers than like other people in the ruling group.
No need to worry.
It's
just yet.
possible for
I'm
people
only
to not let the Archon
hypothesizing
see other
here.
people.
You could certainly try asking around and
That
see
makes
if anyone
sense.
else has ideas. And besides, you two should consider the bright side of things. Not being able
Like,
to see Lesser Lord
If the Archon was
Kusanagi
more
may
of like a
not
puppet
be
figure
bad
to
thing.
rule the land,
In
you
this
know?
world, there will always
that
be
make sense?
information you cannot obtain from the Akasha, and things you can never accomplish. Knowing when to yield is a form of wisdom. Take me, for example. It's a miracle if my brain cells can spit out one paper every 3 years. But Tighnari? That guy can publish 3 papers in just a single year.
Okay. Thanks for your advice.
Don't mention it. If you two ever want information about things like who's been promoted within the academia or relations between the 6
that's
great
really,
sages, come find me.
Information that we really care about.
Hey, come on.
Sounds kind of
This is a
fanboy-y.
survival skill at the academia.
Oh, Paimon's expectations were pretty low, but this is so low, it's like digging holes in the dirt. So what do we do now? Even if we want to talk to someone, we don't know anybody here.
What do we do now even if we want to talk to someone we don't know anyone here? There's still one other person. Oh, I thought this guy was the one brooming. Brooming, that's not the word. Sweeping! I think this is a weird way of animating that. It's not him that's doing the sweeping, I see now.
Like who?
Applesauce lady! Yes, yes, yes.
Right!
That is true.
The Adventurers Guild has its own intel network. Let's hurry and find
And
her.
we've passed by Catherine already in Sumeru. I think I know where she is. She's a little far. Applesauce lady!
Ad Astra Abyssosk. Hello, Traveler and Paimon.
Catherine, we need your help with something.
Understood. The Adventurers Guild is always ready to serve you.
Do they all look
With what
exactly
do you
the same,
require
or do they have
assistance?
different hair colors?
We want to meet with Lesser Lord
I feel like the other one had brown
Do you
hair,
know
no?
a way we can do that?
You two wish to meet with Sumeru's Archon. Understood. Please wait.
I feel like she sounds more robotic than normal.
I apologize, but I am unable to call up any relevant information in the Akasha. I'm also unable to locate any pertinent information in my personal memory.
Aww, another
Is she always this
dead end.
robotic?
Well, if Catherine can't help us, then we really don't know anyone else to ask now.
Please do not worry. I may know of someone who can help you two. In Sumeru, the Adventurers Guild does not serve as the vanguard of information. Rather, there are numerous active mercenary groups collectively
do
known
they get
as
to...
the Aramites.
Deyha's part of them, right?
They take on
Or
various
no?
contracts and work all across Sumeru, so they naturally accrue intelligence. An Aramite brigade called the Corps of 30 is in charge of Sumeru City's defenses. Not only are they the oldest brigade, but they are responsible for managing and coordinating the affairs of all other mercenary brigades.
Corps of 30? What a weird name.
Are there 30 of them?
Supposedly, they are named as such because their ranks
Ah,
numbered 30
okay.
at their inception. Asfand, an advisor with the Corps of 30, maintains good relations with the Adventurers Guild. Though he's already retired, he and his words carry great weight within mercenary circles. If you'd like to get in contact with him, you can find him at the Corps of 30's headquarters, the Citadel of Rexar. You're welcome. I wish you two the best of luck. We look forward to your exploits in Sumeru.
Hmm.
Alright, off to the Citadel of Rexar we go!
Okay.
Welcome. The Adventurers Guild told me to expect you two.
A consultant?
Nice to meet you, Asfand. We'd like to ask you about something.
Cute cutscene of us asking him said things, but no dialogue.
So, Catherine's the one who sent you this way. Ha! It's true that the Aramites' network is vast, but even I can't help you meet the Dendro Archon.
Wait, seriously? That's it?
That's all.
Afraid so. The Aramites aren't terribly religious, so we don't know much about divinities. As far as the Akasha goes, we can access even less than you.
Oh, wait. What is the Akasha based off of then? I thought it was just like, it reads how much information it thinks you need access to, and then it gives you access to said information. I'm interested to see what the Akasha is based off of. I thought I had an understanding, but I guess I don't.
We originally came from the desert. The gods there died off long ago. Since those days, we've used our own two hands to carve out a living. We don't beg gods for their aid. It isn't just us, though. If you ask me, I think
That's
most
so
in
sad.
Sumeru aren't interested in Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Oh? Why's that?
Just take the Academia, for example. They're the ones who
Oh,
truly
see,
rule
this is what I
Sumeru.
said. Kind
They
of.
believe in gods. Most of them only care for the late greater Lord Rugadavada.
Ah. That's so
In their
sad.
eyes, she was the one who founded Sumeru and gifted us with the Akasha.
I also want to know how Archons are
Lesser Lord
chosen.
Kusanali just happened to inherit her legacy.
Or how the
Because of
legacy
the
is inherited,
Academia's
at least.
influence, most citizens are more familiar with Greater Lord Rugadavada and hold her in greater esteem. Not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali never makes an appearance, and the Academia never announces anything about her. As far as the people of Sumeru are concerned,
She's just a god that exists. And that's all.
Really? Aw. After hearing all of that, Paimon sort of feels bad for Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Can she not meet the public, or is she
But who
prohibited from
knows?
doing so?
We're all just guessing when it comes down to it. Besides, I'm sure the god of wisdom doesn't worry about her reputation among people like us.
Alright, well, thanks for the info, Osfond.
No problem. Always happy to help out the Adventurers Guild.
So what now? Go to the academia itself? Question several people in Sumeru City.
Seems Osfond was right about most people's attitudes here. Not only are they not interested in the Dendro Archon, they even say stuff like, if the Akasha doesn't
Wow.
think I should know,
See,
I
that's
don't need to know
dystopian.
about it.
That's Big Brother-esque.
We've been asking for information
Kinda
nonstop
creepy.
Ever since we got to Sumeru. But the harder we try,
Like, to not even
the less
question it?
everything seems. Isn't there at least one person in this entire city who cares about Lesser Lord Kusanali?
I hope they pop their head out now.
You two
they
are
do.
interested in Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Huh? Who are you?
From the sound of it, you two are Outlanders who recently arrived here.
Who are you?
You've been asking around for information on Lesser Lord Kusanali, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Dunyarzad, one of Lesser Lord Kusanali's faithful
Dunyarzad.
followers.
Whoa, really?
I'm gonna butcher
And
that.
do you know how we can meet with her?
I'm afraid I can't help you with that. But your conversation earlier did happen to remind me of a legend about the Dendro Archon.
What sort of legend? Can you tell us a legend? What sort of legend?
Sure. It goes like this. Long, long ago, there was a man who heard a prophecy. It predicted that a great calamity was about to befall him. Panicked by what he heard, the man sought out the Dendro Archon in hopes that she would bless him with the wisdom to help him escape his predicament. The man journeyed across deserts and through rainforests and experienced tribulations of every kind. However, he still couldn't find any trace of the Dendro Archon. In despair, he thought, alas, the Archon has abandoned me. He then had no choice but to sorrowfully resign to his fate.
Okay, and then what happened?
She's so
And
excited.
then the calamity came. But to his own surprise, the man felt somehow emboldened by the trials of his journey. By relying on his own strength, he managed to overcome the adversity. At that moment, a bird perched upon his shoulder. This bird was, in fact, an avatar of the Dendro Archon. She said, "O Archon Seeker, do you now understand? She and her wisdom have long been found by you."
Oh, didn't she talk to us via bird during the
Along your
Archipelago
journey,
quest
you
or the
learn every
Archipelago event?
flower and blade of grass, every ray
no?
of sparkling sun, and every breath of dancing wind. So long as you continue to think and ponder, will be wherever you go.
Could be reading into it too much, but I feel it'd be interesting to see if she was like living in a birdcage, kind of like if she was trapped by or if she was like prohibited from seeing the outside world. That'd be interesting, and that she uses birds as her avatar. That'd be interesting. Hi, Pale and Black. Welcome on. Thank you for the follow. I hope your day is going well. Best NPC. I like her design a lot. I like her outfit a lot. Fancy. I like her voice. The voice acting for this quest? Well, the voice acting for Genshin in general is great, but I feel like all the NPCs have had really nice voices.
Yeah, thanks for the story. Paimon feels all warm and fuzzy inside after that.
In a way, it seems like this story is also one of the Dendro Archon's avatars.
Dunyarzad,
Ooh.
since you worship Lesser Lord Kusanali, can you tell us anything else about her?
Of course. So did you two know that,
Are we gonna be stopped right now?
I'm terribly sorry, but it seems something's come up now. Let's chat another day.
Oh, shady!
Hey!
We're being silenced. She's being silenced.
What the heck just happened? It looks like they're searching for someone. Dunyarzad was acting super nervous just now. I think they're for her.
I wonder if they shut up like Kusanali lovers.
We finally managed to find a lead about Lesser Lord Kusanali. We can't let them get in the way now.
Knock him out, then chase after her.
Let's see if we can get rid of them.
Oh,
Then we can
actually,
catch up with Dunyarzad.
knock him out, then chase after her.
Have you two seen a brown-haired girl wearing a purple top and a long blue dress? We're looking for her.
I feel like that's a very vague description, though. A brown-haired girl?
Yes, that's her. Did you see which direction she went?
Yeah, she went that way.
Straight into the tree.
After her.
That should keep him busy for a while.
That's such a funny chuckle.
Let's hurry and find Dunyarzad.
Catching up with our lady. We just saved you. Now please, let's give him more. No, please give us more information. My brain's not working.
You too. Oh, you startled me there.
I can't believe she thought that was a good hiding place, though. She's standing against a wall.
Really? Thank you so
This is
much.
an awful hiding place.
Fortunately, I believe there's still more of them out there looking for me. Uh-oh. Looks like there's some coming this way.
Huh? More of them? Then what are we standing here for? Run!
No,
I feel like
wait,
that's a little...
My body isn't in the best
too
shape.
obvious, no?
It's difficult for me to run.
At least like hide in a bush.
Okay, sounds good. There's a tavern on the other side of the port we can go to. They probably wouldn't expect me to hide in a place like that.
Alright, let's move out. Stay behind us. We'll keep an eye out for anyone looking for you.
Huh. I feel like we're very eye-catching. As tourists that just came into the city that no one recognizes, I feel like we would attract more attention than anything, no? It's an interesting thought process, I guess. Into the tavern! So long loading screen. Ooh, tavern's pretty!
We made it. Oh, they shouldn't be able to find us now.
Oh.
Wait, stand down, Dia.
Her eyes are so pretty. Oh. Not just the shock face. Her eyes are so pretty. Ah, she's so pretty.
Just a moment ago. They happened to notice that you were all searching for me, so they helped me hide.
I see.
Ooh.
In that case, you two should scram. There's nothing here for you.
Wait a sec! Who the heck are you? And why are you shooing us away?
I'm Miss Dunyarzad's bodyguard, here to see that she returns home safe and sound. My lady, let's get going. You've been gone for so long that your parents are worrying themselves sick.
So they're just all bodyguards
And
for her?
if I refuse to go with you?
Oh, damn.
It'd be easier for the both of us if you cooperated. But if you insist on not going, then I'll have to carry you like a sack of potatoes.
I don't want to be carried like a sack of potatoes.
Dunyarzad already said she doesn't want to go back. Why are you still pushing her?
Stay out of this. You don't understand the situation. Sorry, my lady. Even though I'm your bodyguard, your parents are my employers. I have to answer to them.
I like her eye
How
makeup.
much?
How much?
Wait, what?
How much more do I have to pay you to become your employer?
Look at
Never
this
listen
meat!
to my parents ever again. Double? A
Schmeat.
triple? Give me some
Oh, I
time,
should eat food.
and I'll get that much.
My lady, this isn't about Mora. I don't know what you think of us Eremites, but let me say this. I like Mora, but I'll never go against my principles. That's why I'm here looking for you. Sure, it's an order from my employer, but my conscience was also telling me it's the right thing to do. And knowing your health, carelessly running around like this is gonna hurt ya. For the sake of those who love you, don't be stubborn.
No, you're wrong. I'm aware of my limits, and I know what I'm doing. Honestly, the only people being stubborn right now are my parents.
She does
They
look
know
like a rich
perfectly
girl.
well that it makes no difference if I'm
The
at
way
home or
she's dressed
not.
up?
They still won't accept reality. And every time I bring this up, they just change the subject. Dia, you've been living with us a long time already. This should be old news to you. Dear, I know it hasn't been easy for Mother and Father, and I'm grateful for everything they've done for me. But there's someone else in this world I'm also grateful to. Because she saved me. The love I have for her is the same I have for my parents.
That's kind of insane.
This is my life. And my
Sounds kind of cultish.
So I want to do something meaningful.
Oh, it's just not Kusanali. Then never mind. You love whoever you want, lady.
My lady, are you sure what you're doing now is meaningful?
Yes, I'm sure. At least, it is to me.
Fine. I won't ask you to return home anymore. But let me make something very clear. I'm only doing this because I respect your determination, not because I agree with you.
Thank you, deyha. Sorry for being so rude just now. My nerves were acting up. And I even brought up your payment in such an offensive way.
Don't worry about it, my lady. I did say that I like Mora. Besides, that's our next topic of conversation. Today's little excursion caused such a ruckus that every single bodyguard at the estate was deployed. It wouldn't be easy to hide things from your old man. Since this definitely won't be your last escapade, here's a little tip. You should at least make it look like your room and things are still in order when you leave. Also, you'll need someone to cover you for when you're out and about. So, I'll let you hire me, my lady. This way, everyone wins.
I like her!
As for the pay, let's say half of what your father pays me. We can settle the bill when we
I wonder how much the dad pays her, though. I feel like that'd be a lot of money.
Yay! Looks like they've reached an understanding.
Oh, health problems. IBS. Maybe not. Does it have to do with her hands? Oh! Is she also turning into stone? Like Kale? I wonder if that's it. Is this lady dying? Turning to stone?
I'm fine, really. I just feel a little tired now that things have calmed down.
My lady, stop trying to look tough. We're already in a tavern, so let's rest up and grab some grub.
I'm sorry for worrying you two. If you don't mind, I'd like for you to join us.
I like how her hair is like a little lion's mane. Well, not really. She looks very feline-ish. I mean, obviously, with the hair that looks like cat ears, but I like it. It's a look. Rest in the tavern will do. I hope he gets to eat some food.
Ha! Well, if it isn't deyha. Haven't seen
Is it
you in
deyha?
nearly half a year. Word on the street is that you're a bodyguard for the Homayani family now. Ha! Don't you find that kind of work boring?
Nah, you get used to it. How about a menu over here?
You got it, huh? Isn't this little Miss Homayani herself? We don't get to serve personages like you very often. We'll be sure to prepare our
she's a
very
rich girl.
best.
I mean, that's been implied.
There's no need. I don't have a lot of Mora on me, and I really ought to save as much as
To
I
pay
can.
off her own bodyguard.
But please bring these two the best food you have. They're my new friends, so I want to be a good host for them.
We could cook our own food.
Wait, we're paying for ourselves now? Aw, Paimon kinda wanted to try something
Paimon, you
fancy,
asshole.
but we aren't exactly loaded.
Paimon has such low emotional intelligence, it's crazy.
How about our coconut charcoal cakes? They're our signature snack, and they run cheap. Look, other customers over there are eating some now.
They look kind of burnt and dry.
Paimon's awful.
Paimon will pass.
You don't say that about food, that's awful.
Hey, come on! Paimon has personal preferences too, you know. Dunyarzad, we asked a lot of people when we first arrived, and almost
This is so
nobody
much
was
food.
interested in Lesser Lord Kusanagi.
This alone is enough food for 4 people.
Well, remember when you asked me if I knew how to meet the Dendro Archon? Even though I don't know how, I think I've actually seen her before.
Huh? Really?
Yes, it was when I was a child. At the time, my illness had kept me bedridden for the better part of a year. I was stuck inside and couldn't make any friends, and my parents did their best to find treatments for me. But even then, the Akasha didn't have any helpful information. My younger self no longer had any hopes or dreams.
Oh.
One flare-up was so bad that I was in a semi-conscious state.
I wonder if it's the same thing that's Kale.
Then one night, I woke up alone in my room. I was terrified.
Her sleep demons.
My body was paralyzed. Even if I cried, there was no sound. At that moment, an ethereal voice spoke in my mind.
Aww. Kusanali sounds sweet.
Don't be scared. You don't have to cry.
Oh,
don't be scared. You don't have to cry.
I love her voice.
Who are you? How do you know my name? How do I explain this? You might not be able to understand, but actually, I know everything about you. Really?
Oh, she's so cute.
Of course. I know that you're scared of thunder, that you hate taking medicine every morning, and that you love counting the petals on your mom's skirt.
That's a little creepy. That's a little too much information.
You really do know everything.
This is a very trusting little girl.
Junior-zod, is there anything you want? What? Not really. I can't.
This kind of reminds me of a Maple Story cutscene. It's kind of the same art.
Huh? But aren't you a child? All children have wishes. Tell me what you want, and maybe I can make it happen. But can I make my illness go away?
I wonder if Kusanali is like more attracted to like childhood wonder, you know? Or like making sure that people have dreams and like the artsy side of things, and the academia doesn't approve of her. And they're kind of caging her up. I wonder if that's a situation. Because it sounds like she's invested in, like, I don't know. It sounds like she's sweet. This is kind of cute, no? That'd be an interesting theory. I think Greater Lord is wisdom, Lesser Lord is innocence. Yeah, I feel like there's a... They probably sit on opposite sides of their beliefs. It sounds... Well, to echo your statement, it sounds like the Greater Lord was invested in intelligence and, like, building up the academia and everything like that, and it sounds like that's what Sumeru is invested in right now. Yeah! Oh, yes! The Greater Lord of Sumeru is in STEM and the Lesser Lord is in the arts. That's a great way of putting it. That's so funny. We need more appreciation for the arts, really. Truly. Anyways, continuing. Does her illness get cured?
Oh.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Does not get cured. But does it get better? Does Kusanali alleviate it at least?
Then, can you be my friend?
Aww.
After that, the voice said, "Okay, I'll be your friend." Although
That's
my
really
body was suffering during
sweet.
those days, that voice encouraged me and told me many wondrous things. Beyond my window was the flourishing SUMERU city. Beyond the city was a lush rainforest. And beyond that was the wall of Samiel, deserts, and all of Teyvat. Once I finally made it through that bout of illness, I couldn't hear that voice anymore. I told my mother about it, but she said that I must have been dreaming. But I know that that voice wasn't a figment of my imagination. Before that, I had never heard of Teyvat.
Kusanali's kind of like Santa. So you believe the voice you heard was...
Yes, for sure.
Oh, so she didn't see her. She just heard her.
I would have never grown
it's still
curious
good.
about the outside world, nor would I have learned how to read and enjoy so many books. That voice sparked a desire for wisdom. It had to have been the Dendro Archon. I've been hoping for a chance to repay her kindness.
Maybe the
In
Dendro
fact, I was running
Archon,
around today
as in
to help prepare
Kusanali,
the
has a different
Sub-Zero's
interpretation
festival
of
for
what wisdom could be.
What's the Sub-Zero's festival?
It's Lesser Lord Kusanali's birthday, which was the day that she was found by the sages. It's actually an old holiday that originally celebrated
But
Greater
how are
Lord
they
Rukkhadevata's
identified?
birthday. When she passed away, the holiday eventually became a celebration of the Lesser Lord's birthday. I heard everyone was overjoyed when they welcomed her back to SUMERU. In those days, the festival was a huge deal. But because of the academia's influence, people have gradually lost interest in the festival. The academia actively participates in SUMERU's many holidays dedicated to Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. But when it comes to the Sub-Zero's festival, Forget any funding. They practically act like it doesn't exist.
Wow.
Maybe they see Lesser Lord Kusanali's birth as confirmation of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's death, so they're reluctant to celebrate.
That's so sad. They don't even celebrate their own Archon's birthday. Does any nation do that, actually?
Sure, the Greater Lord founded SUMERU, but hasn't Lesser Lord Kusanali been the one quietly protecting us for the past few hundred years?
Just remember that we're still out in public. Don't get too carried away now.
I know that people over by the Grand Bazaar still hold the Sub-Zero's festival to this day, but I hadn't met any of them before, so I was never able to contribute. But recently, I made a friend there who also follows Lesser Lord Kusanali.
They have a little cult?
Because I want her to throw a wonderful festival this year. That's the least I could do for Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Oh, is it Nilu?
My lady, does this
it is!
Nilu, the one who sends flowers to the estate?
How cute!
Yes, that's her.
I can't wait to see her dance. I hope it becomes a cutscene, or I hope it is a cutscene.
It seemed like she was hiding something in her arms. Did you give her something?
Yes. Initially, I didn't have much Mora prepared, so I had Nilu sell one of my skirts.
They're fangirls.
With Nilu to meet up at the Grand Bazaar
but in the most wholesome way.
And see how things are coming along. Deyha, would you accompany me?
Sure. That's quite the trip, though. I'll carry you.
No, that would be too much. Even for you.
You might as well just accept the lift. If I let you walk,
is it like a princess carry?
It'll take
a piggyback?
And if anything happens to you,
there are other ways to carry people. Over the shoulder? Like a potato sack? Can we also come along? I would love to meet Nilu.
Nilu would be
oh, we get to meet her now.
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Time to meet Nilu. She's so pretty!
Sorry I'm late, Nilu.
Oh, Dunyarzad. It was taking you so long that I assumed you got trapped at home, but you made it in the end. Uh-oh. But if Dia's here, that means you got caught, right?
You could say that, but everything worked out. She's on our side now.
Not completely.
Oh, and who are these two?
Oh, meet the Traveler and Paimon, my two newest friends. They're visitors who just arrived at
She sounds so gentle, she's so pretty.
From Lesser Lord Kusanali.
So you're followers from another land?
No, but we're here to help.
Really? Well, that's okay. You're still invited to the Sub-Zero's festival.
She sounds so soft.
By the way, Dunyarzad, we've already started decorating the Grand Bazaar. It looks spectacular, thanks to your generous contribution.
You're very welcome. It's the only thing I could do. Do you still have enough Mora?
Probably? But don't sweat it. We've already finished renovating the stage. Come on, I'll show you.
Oh wait, is her hair in little pigtails in the back? That's so cute! Okay, continuing to see the stage.
Wow! This place is amazing!
Oh, it's so pretty!
Not bad. Last time I was here, the stairs were full of holes.
Oh, that's so
the
sad.
Stairs were nothing. A little while ago, we discovered that the tree above the stage had a huge chunk of bark ready to fall off. Mr. Zubair was worried sick. We reported it to the academia many times, but they never sent anyone to deal with it. We didn't want anything bad happening, so we were going to cancel all the stage performances.
Because the academia doesn't care.
Probably because
they don't care about the arts.
The academia looks down on performers like us. They probably think it would be best if the theater closed down completely. We can't let that happen, though. Not only would everyone involved in the theater go hungry, but then we wouldn't be able to hold the Sub-Zero's festival anymore. Thank the Danger Archon for Dunyarzad. With the Mora she gave us, we hired someone to patch up the tree, and we also gave the stage a much-needed makeover. The stage is going to be even prettier when it's festival time.
Oh, look at her dancing.
I can't wait for you to see it.
And I can't wait to see you on the stage. You've been practicing so long already. It's almost time for your dream to
I'm
become
assuming her
reality.
dance is gonna be like a cutscene. I'm hoping it's gonna
It's
give like
our
Yunjin
dream.
performance vibes.
I'll do my best to
That
bring it to
good.
pass.
Nilu, what are you gonna be doing at the festival?
She'll be dancing the dance of Sub-Zeros, the most important performance at the Sub-Zeros festival.
Dunyarzad, have you told him the origin of this holiday?
Her outfit
I
is
only
so
told them about the
cute.
Greater Lord and Lesser Lord so far.
Okay, then I'll tell you too about how this holiday came to be. According to legend, the Sub-Zeros festival was
What's this dog
originally
doing?
the Goddess of Flowers' birthday celebration for the Greater Lord. A long, long time ago, on one of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's birthdays, her friends threw her a celebratory banquet. Some of the gods got drunk. One started playing music, and the Greater Lord started singing, so the Goddess of Flowers began to dance. As she danced upon the grass, countless beautiful parisaras began to bloom wherever she stepped. Those brilliant purple flowers became her dazzling stage. All the gods clamored, "Oh, if only time could stop at this very moment."
Sounds like they had a great time.
Of course they did. When people mention the gods, they always think of the Archon War. But Sumeru's gods also had happy times. Although they aren't around anymore, they're preserved in our tradition of dance. This outfit I'm wearing is apparently based on how the Goddess of Flowers looked. Though we're just tiny people compared to the divine, we still have to do our best to make sure that the birthday
That's
girl
so
feels
sweet.
loved on her special day.
Nilu, you of all people will definitely be able to convey our well wishes to the Dendro Archon. I also noticed that you went the extra mile and scattered parisaras around the stage.
They symbolize the Goddess of Flowers, after all. It's
What,
just a shame
extinct?
that all the
Oh,
real
so are these fake
parisaras went
ones?
extinct after her death.
Ah, interesting.
The Greater Lord brought forth parisaras in memory of the Goddess of Flowers, but she ultimately could never truly replicate that beautiful
Her
purple.
voice just always seems like
Thinking
she's
about the Goddess of
sad,
Flowers
kind
dance
of.
makes me wish I could have seen it. If my stage were anything like that, I'd be thrilled if I had just 2 real parisaras on the stage. So, Traveler and Paimon, what do you think? Interested in the Sub-Zeros festival? Will you two be coming?
All of Lesser Lord Kusanali's followers will be there for her birthday. It'll be a good opportunity for you to learn more about her.
So, that's interesting. I was expecting that we would close off on the festival, like, as a happy note. But it sounds like it's coming before we meet Kusanali? Right? You sure it's not because you want— I want to see Nilu's dance, come on!
Of course Paimon wants to watch. Those 2 things aren't mutually exclusive, you know.
True, 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 true.
So how about we all attend the Sub-Zeros festival together?
Or maybe the first rendition of the festival is a fail.
Junior's
And she
out.
can't dance.
Let me show
That'd
you
be
which
so sad.
stage decorations we've picked out so far. Traveler and Paimon, if that doesn't sound interesting to you, then feel free to explore the area. Everyone at the Grand Bazaar loves Lesser Lord Kusanali, and we're all looking forward to the Sub-Zeros festival.
She has a good amount of, like, fan people. Okay, our favorite NPC. What do you have to say?
Nilu, your outfit looks amazing. There's also something different about you from when we first met up.
Confidence.
I thought I'd add a little extra pizzazz to my dress
Not
for the
confidence.
festival. See?
Wow, did you sew all that yourself?
Uh-huh. Sewing is a fundamental skill for everyone in the theater company
Aww.
because we make all our own costumes. Did you know that Mr. Zubair not only can make costumes, but props too? I've noticed that you can't keep your eyes off that crown over there. Would you like to try it on?
Aww.
May I?
Their friendship's so cute.
course. The legends say that the Goddess of Flowers had beautiful horns on her head, so this crown was made to reflect that.
We don't even get to see her try on the crown. Wow. We can imagine it. We can imagine it.
Stunning with it on. It's like I'm looking at the Goddess of Flowers herself.
She's a smooth talker. Oh.
Hey, is that who Paimon thinks it is? It looks
Whoa. I feel like I've never seen Catherine just out and about. Like, she's just always been behind her booth, you know? Also, the different Catherines have different, like, colored hairs, right? I'm pretty sure Mondstadt has brown hair.
Huh. Come to think of it,
Yeah! We've never seen her out and about.
The Adventurers Guild. This is the first time we've ever seen her taking a break.
Interesting. Does she still sound robotic?
Oh, hey! It's the Traveler and
Oh, hey!
What's shaken?
What's shaken?
Break time, Catherine.
What are
sure
these
sounds a lot more
phrases?
formal than usual. Paimon was still
I
waiting
kind of
for
wish
her
she
to
said
say,
what's shaken instead of Ad Astra.
Sure. Standing behind the counter at the Adventurers Guild doesn't require any complicated functions.
Oh, she's not robotic at all now.
Doing the same old things over and over again can get pretty monotonous. Like watching the same Fontaine movie day after day. But take you two, for example. You travel across Teyvat to enrich your lives and gain new experiences.
Well, we enjoy traveling across Teyvat and all that, but we're mainly looking for clues about
We're not
her
traveling for the enriching experiences. We're traveling to find a missing
We should
person.
keep searching. Sometimes the answers we're looking for aren't necessarily at our intended destination. Instead, they're found along the way.
Huh. Haven't we heard someone say something pretty similar recently? Anyways, what brings you out here, Catherine?
No, not particularly. I guess you could say that I'm loving the recent atmosphere here. If
I don't know how many
festivals
people are
bring
gonna
happiness
come.
to everyone, then that's
Like,
where
how
their
many people are
true
dead
value
set
lies.
on, like, not being a fan of the arts, you know?
Oh, it looks like it's about time for me to be heading back now.
Alright, we'll see you next time at the Adventurers Guild. Oh, by the way, thanks for connecting us with the Eremites. We've already made some great friends in Sumeru City thanks to you.
I'm sure you two will get along well with the people here. You've already been blessed by the element of Dendro after all. See you around.
She sounds so natural here. This is the most natural I've heard Catherine, I feel. It's also kind of wild to see her not behind the counter.
There's something really different about Catherine today.
Hey, Traveler. Paimon.
Oh, hey, Dia. What's going on?
I've got something to tell ya. My lady knows you're looking for ways to meet Lesser Lord Kusanali, and she's been trying to come up with a way to help you. Well, I have an idea that might help.
Are you serious? We'd love that!
It might not necessarily pan out, so don't get your hopes up too much. I'll need to take you two somewhere and ask someone some questions.
It's very vague and kind of shady, but we'll take it.
My lady is feeling a little worn out at the moment. Nilu's found a place for her to rest. After I take my lady home, let's meet in front of the Citadel of Regzar.
Sounds like a plan!
I can't wait to see cosplayers do a cosplay of her. Now we're at the entrance.
Sorry, I'm late. It took some convincing for the master and mistress to believe that Miss Dunyarzad was only sitting in the port for a while because she was in a bad mood. Anyway, I guess I should be thanking you. I haven't seen Miss Dunyarzad that happy in a long time. If it wasn't for you two, she probably would have been caught and dragged back much earlier.
You sure sound a whole lot nicer than when we first met, Dia. Who would have thought you had such a soft spot for Dunyarzad?
It's called being a professional. I'm a bodyguard,
She's
and I work
soft,
for whoever
but she
can.
doesn't come off as soft. I kind of like that.
Look, Dia's blushing.
Ugh, listen, you two. I don't expect to be working for Miss Dunyarzad very long, but I hope to finish things on a positive note if possible.
It sounded like
Let's
she was
cut
in
the
it for the
chit-chat
long
and
run.
Head into the Citadel. We'll see if the person I know has a way for you two to meet
Who
with
is the
Lesser
person
Lord.
she knows? Are we gonna meet Owl? Where are the other playable characters? Or maybe it's not a playable character. Ooh. I like the panning of that. I feel like the way they shoot the well,
Hey, Chief.
shoot the scenes as if it's actual like camera shooting. I like the way they design the scenes.
Well, didn't expect to see you three together.
I
Where
take
are
it
we
you all know
meeting?
each other already?
Mm-hmm. We met this morning after the Adventurers Guild pointed us to Ozfon for more info.
No kidding. Huh. So, where's Ruksha? I thought I'd help these two out by asking about the theft. Anything you can tell him?
Ruksha's gone over to the Academia. The Grand Sage recently ordered SUMERU City to begin bolstering its defenses, so people from all over have been called back to the city. Since you
Why do they have to
mentioned
increase
the
their
theft,
defenses?
I might as well tell them what we know.
Appreciate it, Chief.
Theft? Sorry, what the heck are you guys talking about?
Just recently, the Academia lost something, and there's a chance the item is connected with the Dendro Archon. This case might just somehow help you in meeting her.
I suppose that's one way to look at it. But if you ask me, the case is more about the Academia than anything else. Let me fill you in. The Academia recently sent a convoy to pick up an important package from Aru village. Word got out, and the convoy was robbed on its way back. The Grand Sage took the whole matter very seriously. Not only did he dispatch the Matra, but also enlisted our help in the search for leads.
I wonder what the item
All we
is.
know so
I
far
feel like
is
they're
that
taking it
whatever
really
was
seriously.
stolen is currently in Port
But I can't imagine
Ormos.
what it would be.
You two have heard of Port Ormos, haven't you? It's the largest commercial port in all of Sumeru. You can travel there by leaving Sumeru City and heading south along the river. The Academia's grip isn't
And
long
we
enough to
just
reach
unlock a
all the way to
waypoint
Port
there.
Ormos,
Woo.
so the city's a little
Well,
more
so long as you don't
laid
have to
back,
walk.
meaning the population's also a mixed bag. You never know
Mounts
who
in
you'll meet
Genshin
there.
1.
Apparently what was lost has a great deal to do with the Akasha, knowledge, and even the gods. I'm afraid I don't have any other details for you, though. If you're interested, maybe you could head to Port Ormos and ask around yourselves. If you want my advice,
Can we do
try
that?
introducing yourselves as students of the Academia once you're there.
Are we not gonna get in trouble? Doesn't matter if we get in trouble, actually.
You serious, Chief? All the Academia students are in Sumeru City, you know. Why should they pretend to be students in Port Ormos?
If you're also interested, just go there and see what happens.
Count me out. I've got plenty of work to do here for the Homayani family. And take it from me, if you two really do decide to visit Port Ormos, you'd best watch your backs. Let's just say that the Eremites there aren't nearly as friendly as those here in Sumeru City. There are even some extremists who go around shouting slogans like, "Retake Sumeru for the Scarlet King." Word is that more and more are joining their movement. They're becoming a real headache for Chief and the others.
You bet they are. The Scarlet King's been dead for thousands of years. Now they
I
start
feel like they're
spreading
introducing
rumors
so many... Like, there's so many
Not everyone's
parts
like you,
of the
Chief.
plot that they'll
Even
have
the
to tie up by the
desert
end
natives
of
who
this.
abandoned their homes in the wilderness still wish to have a god of their
Is
own.
Dotori even gonna come in for the Archon
Well,
quest, or is that a
Traveler,
later
that's
thing?
about all the
Oh well,
information we have
I guess
for
there are
you.
different acts to the Archon quest, huh? Never mind, never mind.
Since we've gathered all we could for the moment in Sumeru City, let's head to Port Ormos and see what we can find next.
Miss
I didn't realize
Junior's
they
is
didn't have to
looking
tie up
forward
all
to
these
seeing
points
both
right
at the
now.
Sub-Zeru's festival, so be sure to get yourselves back
Don't
here
worry,
in time
we
for
will.
that. Good.
We will
Then
never
see you
miss
both
Nilu's
at the
dancing.
Sub-Zeru's festival.
Wouldn't miss it for the world. Okay, to Port Ormos, and we got a waypoint there, so we don't even have to walk. Okay, in Port Ormos. Who are we meeting here? Oh, we're gonna say that we're like students from the Academia.
Come and have a good look yourself. Traditional spices of the highest quality, made with pride and experience.
They all have such smooth voices.
You've got a deal. I can't thank you enough for always looking after my business.
Believe me, I'm not making this up. Several Eremite mercenary groups are
When do we
nearly
meet
in open
Dory? Do we
conflict.
meet Dory now?
Or does the core of 30 care? And that's not all. Did you know that...
Wow! Talk about hurly-burly! This place is busy! Guess that's only to be expected for the largest port in Sumeru. Maybe it's because of what Dia told us earlier, seem to shake the feeling that there's also danger lurking in these crowds. Ooh. Let's get our bearings so we can start looking for leads.
I feel like we haven't had real conflict yet.
Is related to the gods. But
everything's been pretty tame.
We don't have much else to go on. Osfun told us to try posing as academia students while asking around. Paimon checked the Akasha on the way here, and the academia doesn't seem to have any research facilities in Port Ormos. Paimon doesn't get it. Won't we look even more suspicious going around saying we're academia students?
Doesn't mean I like expect there to be
stolen item?
That doesn't mean I expect there to be conflict this early on. It's just interesting how many points there are to be tied up by the end of this. Well, not by the end of this. By the end of Sumeru. We should figure that out. Yeah.
Well, given all the people that come through here every day,
I don't know why I always choose between the voiced options, because I don't think they make a difference.
Let's ask around and see what we come up with.
Okay, going around. I hope we meet Dory soon. I assume this makes sense in the story for her pop-up, but I'm also not too sure. Nearby merchant. Hello, lady.
Welcome. Welcome.
I like her bangs.
How can I help you too?
She looks angry though.
Hi there. We would like to ask you a question. Do students from the academia
are these students or no?
Port Ormos?
Of course. Especially around this time of year. Students from SUMERU City that are about to graduate often come to Port Ormos to cut loose a little. Many people often talk about how hard it is to get accepted into the academia, let alone graduate. But those who finish their studies and go on to become full-time researchers at the academia have it even harder. Sure,
I would not thrive in Sumeru.
But Port Ormos offers beautiful scenery and a stress-free environment. Some even say it's good luck to come to Port Ormos.
Maybe I could stay in the port if I lived here.
Things get to be too much at the academia. Ah, you see over
there?
there?
They are students. See?
Those are students from the academia.
They look serious.
They've been looking worried and miserable ever since they got here a few days ago.
Miserable.
If you ask me, the life of a merchant is better. So long as the Akasha teaches us what we need, then life is good.
Those students seem to be discussing something. Let's see if we can listen in.
It's no good. I've tried asking around, but I haven't been able to learn anything useful. Not to mention that a bunch of scary-looking Eremite mercenaries have been posted along the streets now.
There's been a lot of fighting between the different Eremite factions in Port Ormos. If we choose to move on our own, then it would be wise.
Their uniforms look so comfy.
Especially
a lot of flowy air.
Some stuff about the Scarlet King and some resurrection. I've even heard that the Citadel of Regzar is starting to get fed up with them. What was that group called again? Ein something or other?
They're called Ein El Akhmar. Today, I heard that the thing we're after might be in their possession at the moment.
Are they looking for the stolen item?
Don't you see? Many of the Eremites in Port Ormos deal with trading this kind of thing.
Also, they're not being very
usually pretty wary
secretive.
of outsiders, but not so with students of the academia. It's because the kind of goods that students are looking for aren't the kind of goods that Eremites are after. As long as they know you're a student, then deals can be made. I've heard that Ein El Hakmar likes to set up shop at the Jafar Tavern. Supposedly, if you're willing to part with 500,000 Mora, they'll give you info on
$500,000 Mora! That's a lot of Mora!
500,000? If information alone costs that much, then how could we ever afford to buy what we're
Actually,
looking for?
I would like to see what, like, a conversion of Mora to US dollars is. How much Mora would it cost to buy a house?
Our field of research is very niche. Who else could possibly be after that kind of shady knowledge? I bet it's practically worthless to anyone aside from us.
Well, I guess that makes sense. Then the only thing left for us now is to find a way in. Why don't we all just pool our money together and pay for the information?
Whoa! Did you hear that? A niche field of research and shady knowledge? It all sounds pretty
Whatever was
suspicious.
stolen was also related to knowledge.
Something people just buy and sell like that?
Maybe in Sumeru. I could see that being the case. Anyways, what was stolen from the academia was also related to knowledge.
So, what's our plan?
Attack them.
Wait, didn't you hear what they just said? Buying information is going to cost us 500,000 mora! Have you lost your mind?
Attack them.
Oh,
if they scam us, knock them out.
I never thought she'd agree to parting with that kind of mora. But if you know what you're doing, then we should give it a shot.
Anyways, we sit in this bench. We scope out the area. We're great little spies.
Oh, you've arrived. Please take a seat.
Not that the floating little girl in the air is suspicious at all.
Ha! Once we reclaim the power of the Scarlet King, they'll be the first that the boss punishes.
How come no one ever questions
They're nothing
Paimon?
to be afraid of. Our main rival now is the Caracal Battalion. They've also amassed a significant amount of mora this time, so we mustn't underestimate them.
How can the Caracal Battalion compete with the boss when they're nothing but a bunch of money-grubbing opportunists out for a quick mora?
Yeah, with boss's fervent devotion, he'll be able to use this power to bring our god back this time.
Huh. All these guys talk about is the Scarlet King, so they're probably the ones we're looking for.
Greater Lord Ruka Devata. That traitor and her followers must not be spared. The day will come when the Scarlet King
I
exacts
don't think I necessarily
vengeance on
understand
Sumeru,
this point of
and all of them
conflict.
shall be punished.
I feel like the Scarlet King just came. Well, the Scarlet King did just come out of nowhere, I feel. Greater Lord of Traitor.
Paimon was wondering what they meant too. We should ask about that if we get the chance later.
Huh. Another conflict. So add on to the story, get some information. We're just gonna ask them directly? I mean, I guess. That's one way of doing it.
Who are you? What do you want?
I'm a student.
A student? Huh. What's a student from Sumeru City doing in Port Ormos?
Chillin', relaxing.
Ah, well, if it's
Looking for
you
info.
want, you've come to the right place. The question is, can you afford it?
Hand him... Hand him 500 more... 500,000 more off the bat. If I hand him 50, will he fight me? But we'll give you 500,000 more. If you scam us, your head's on a stake. Is that too violent?
So much more ago.
There's more, dude.
No other choice right now.
Here, this is the merchant's address. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find
We
it
didn't
there.
actually give him our Mora though, right? Like,
Well, what are you
there's gonna be
waiting
no... It's not gonna take it from my wallet, right?
Oh, that's right. We heard you mention the Scarlet King just now. We're actually interested to know more because...
Hey, Paimon! Paimon's so dumb! We're not suspicious at all!
Archaeology students!
Where's archaeology come from?
Fine. Since you've already handed over the Mora, I guess I can throw in a little extra info. As you can see, members of Ain al-Ahmar are devout believers of the Scarlet King. Years ago, the Scarlet King founded the great desert nation that was our homeland. It was an advanced civilization, far beyond anything you'll see in present-day Sumeru. The Scarlet King was the rightful god of wisdom, but he was betrayed by a companion he trusted. She even stripped him of his title, God of Wisdom.
So,
There's a lot of plot
the
points.
Greater Lord
Interesting.
Ruka Devata, yes. That shameless wretch destroyed the Scarlet King's civilization.
I feel like
and our
that's
ancestors
ballsy
were
to
forced
say in the land of
flee to this
Sumeru.
land, where we were made to suffer the tyranny of our enemies. Furthermore, she conspired with the academia to cover up the truth of her actions, and create the merciful and benevolent facade for which she is now known. Ugh, just thinking about it sickens me. But the story doesn't end there, oh no. The Scarlet King isn't truly dead. The voice of the Oracle has been
I feel like
heard
he's
in the desert,
over-invested in this.
prophesying his resurrection. Mark my words, our god shall return. And when that day comes, all followers of the traitor and all the desert dwellers who have forgotten their true god will suffer retribution together.
I feel like we should
If
put his
what
head
I'm
on the
saying
stake
makes you
either
shiver
way.
with fear,
A
it
little
might not be
insane.
too late for you to become a believer.
Didn't this
of the
happen like
Scarlet
hundreds of
King.
years before his time?
I don't have anything to say to you academia people about that. I think this conversation has reached its end.
So
Not
rude.
just yet. This man
It's
is a
Al!
fraud.
Ah, the man, the myth, the legend, the one that everyone loves.
Academia lunatic.
Yes, it's me again. I already warned you that if you weren't willing to sit and discuss things with me, I'd take measures to make things
How does he see? His bangs are in his eyes.
Listen to me. That address he gave you is fake. Or at least, you won't find a merchant.
Head on a stake! He scammed us.
This group has been
It's a
boasting
go.
all around that they can provide information on a certain item as a means of luring people into their territory. Once you show up, they keep up the act until they have hard evidence that you want to purchase said item. Then they use that to
She
seize you
looks
for
so
all the
unamused.
more you're worth.
Hey! Shut it all, Hatham! What are you playing at, trying to ruin our business like this, hmm?
I told you the other day. I wish to discuss my terms with your boss.
Ha! The boss made it perfectly clear that he won't negotiate with you.
Yes, and in no uncertain terms. But that was then. It does not preclude him from changing his mind in the future.
I'm warning you. Don't push us, or this could get ugly. We don't usually get rough with people from the academia because it just complicates things. For a lunatic like you, though, we might
He
just have
looks
to make an
so
exception.
beat
If
upable.
you're suggesting that we escalate this from a verbal exchange to a physical one, I accept. After all,
Ah, he has
even
little
the Archons
ads.
used war to negotiate the ownership of Teyvat. If, on the other hand, we can't agree on any means of negotiation at all, then I'm afraid my next course of action will sting a little more than the mere falling through of a few business deals. I will jeopardize the Eremite's reputation, which I know you value above all else. I am quite confident that if I began to take such action, your boss would willingly approach me himself. However, I fear that by then, some things will have happened that cannot be undone.
One more yet to say, little gray
Also,
man.
A word of advice. I suggest you tell your boss exactly
Oh,
what
this
happened here
was.
today.
It looked like what I was on
Otherwise,
Milu's
he
skirt
might
thing,
blame
no?
you for not telling him in the future.
What did you say?
Consider this. Have I ever failed to follow through on my word in the past?
This guy is really out of his mind.
Okay then. If you really have a death wish, let's meet a week from today.
A week?
The pier in front of the
Why can't they
Forest
just fight right
Lighthouse,
now?
4 o'clock
Why do
in
they
the
have to wait an
afternoon,
entire
sharp.
week?
Don't expect us to
It's so
hold
embarrassing. Duke it out now.
Not so fast. First, you return the 500,000
Or fight us
more to
now,
them.
at least. I'll take the fight. Is he not gonna return it?
Please, I beg you, don't provoke them. We can't afford any trouble with this crowd. They haven't even paid for their food yet.
They took our 500,000 Mora, and they can't even
Mr.
pay for their
Hyman,
food?
There appears to be fewer staff in the restaurant recently. This wouldn't happen to be because they're all busy spreading the word to the
Oh,
students.
he has like a full-on
would it?
cape situation.
Well...
Someone who chooses to do business with a group like that really can't afford to get so flustered the instant someone confronts them about it. Consider the meal compensation for our silence. I'd say you're getting an excellent deal.
I feel like they should still pay for their meal.
Us our Mora back.
Tip their server, you know?
Plus, he seems to know a lot about what's going on around here. Let's catch up with him and ask some questions. Wait up! It's Al Hatham, right?
All hate them.
What do you want?
He needs to straighten his back. He's a little slouched. Thanks for your help, sir.
No need for thanks. My goal was to get to them, and you two gave me just the opportunity I needed. Where
Isn't he a fighter? Doesn't he
I advise
lose
you
like
to
half
keep
his
your
vision
distance from
by
them.
having his hair in his eye?
Since they weren't able to make off with your Mora in the end, they might harass you again in the future. All right. Goodbye.
He's so cool.
I still have something to ask you about. Since you tore through their scam right in front of them, you must know the real story about certain something, no?
Ah,
Who exactly are you
Smooth.
two? And why are you inquiring about that?
I'm a archaeology student. That's
A
our story.
student. Right. Look, you should know that those thugs conducting business with you had nothing to do with your lie.
Ooh, what is this for? Interesting. I like his little cape situ. Well, I kind of like his. Actually, I like his outfit design. I like his outfit design a lot. I feel like most of the dudes in the game, if you were to cosplay them, it'd feel very warm cosplay. But at least for this one, you have an arm out. Or like, a bicep out. Both biceps out. You know? I know a thing or two about swordplay. That is a little flirty. I don't know if that's intentional. Swordplay, you say?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of swords?
She's really strong. Weren't you saying something
don't
about
clip that!
exchange? We can help with that.
She doesn't even have a vision. Forget it.
Hey. I don't have a vision.
She can still
I have
use
all of them.
elemental energy. Otherwise, there's no way we'd go asking for info from from guys like that. Those high-headed thugs are definitely gonna bring a lot of backup for your next meeting. Even if you don't go alone, you won't regret taking us with you.
All right, I accept. Got a pen and paper? If you're searching for someone who sells that kind of merchandise, I'll give you one of their addresses.
What is this
and you can try your
for?
luck.
I hope it
We'll
explains
reconvene at
it.
the appointed time by the pier. It doesn't matter if you show up or not.
So, since you were happy to give us this merchant's information, does that mean you can tell us exactly what we're after?
We're not sure.
You were willing to part with 500,000 mora for something and you didn't even know what it was?
Maybe we're just rich.
Okay. Well, if you truly are as skilled as you claim, then you can beat the answer out of them when they become hostile. Look, if you've been making inquiries, then you have to know something by now. Tell me what you know so far, so I don't waste time repeating information.
We know nothing.
We know it's connected to academia somehow, and that not only do the Eremites deal in it, but some students want to get a hold of it too. What else?
You know almost everything there is to know, but you're unable to
This is
compile
literally,
this
like-
information because you've never seen the object before.
Like a bare amount of
This
information.
is what you've been looking for.
Paimon can't tell what it is. It looks like some kind of ornament.
This is a knowledge capsule. To put it simply, it's a vessel that can store a fixed quantity of canned knowledge. It's like a miniature Akasha.
What's the point of
Anyone
having
who
this?
links it to their personal Akasha terminal instantly becomes privy to its contents.
So like a USB for your brain?
Correct. Anyone. Unlike the Akasha, which heavily regulates who can access.
Am I
what
interpreting
information,
wrong? Is it USB
knowledge
for your
capsules
brain?
can further contents without any requisites.
That's amazing.
It's essentially a convenient and harmless vestibule for knowledge. Unfortunately, it's illegal in SUMERU to privately possess or trade them. They were created as a means for scholars to transfer knowledge gained from Irminsul into the Akasha, and are intended to be destroyed immediately after use.
Tell me more, little gray man.
But despite strict regulations, some of these knowledge capsules will always escape destruction. After all, there will always be those in this world who are dissatisfied with life as designed for them by the Akasha and wish to change their fate. Over the past century, a wide variety of canned knowledge has been leaked from the academia.
Canned knowledge is such a
In
funny way of
Port
putting it.
The valuable ones are a means to mora for the Eremites. Meanwhile, those which the Eremites deem to be useless to them occasionally prove useful to the common citizens and hapless academia students. Well, I think that about sums it up.
I heard that the academia lost something.
So that's your true objective.
It is, it is.
With our current arrangement, I don't believe I can offer an answer. You're still resolved. Fine. Let's talk somewhere with fewer people.
Where do we go? To a more secluded spot. Sounds good, sir. To a little corner.
Let's continue our conversation here. If you wish to learn more about the knowledge capsule that the Academia lost, then you must
Dude,
help me
his
with
hair looks
something.
like bird hair. I like it.
I need you to find
He kinda
someone
looks like
named
a
Dory,
bird.
a traveling merchant.
Oh, now we get to see
Unlike the peddlers who
Dory.
hawk inferior knowledge capsules, she often has quality goods in stock. Some say that as long as there is profit to be made, there is nothing she won't dare to sell. She's guarded against people from the academia because most of her wares don't comply with academia regulations. I think she blacklisted me. I met with her informant, but it soon became clear that they had no intention of letting me get any further. Become one of Dory's customers and earn her trust. This is my condition for further collaboration.
Why do you want us to meet with her?
Until you complete this task, you don't have question privileges.
Damn!
Fine.
Okay, sir.
How do we go about doing this?
You two are outlanders who haven't been here for long, so Dory should view you as safe clients. I'll give you the informant's address and their contact password. Beyond the password, though, I have no way of knowing what other tricks she might have up her sleeve. You'll have to improvise.
I can't wait to meet Dory. I feel like she'd be fun.
This is kind of nerve-wracking.
The true
How we
challenge
meet Dory?
begins after you meet her. She has a keen nose for Mora and a shrewd eye for wares, and she only likes customers who she deems to have good taste. I'll prepare some funds for you. Buy her highest quality wares and earn her approval.
But we only just saw a knowledge capsule for the first time. We don't know how to tell which ones are good and which ones are bad. Is that something we can learn quickly?
That's true. Have you two heard of Elemental Sight?
That'll make it easier. I was thinking Elemental Sight. I can use it.
That's a surprise. Guess I'll have to hold you in higher regard. Anyway, that ability should resolve your issue.
I wonder what this wire is for. Oh, wait. What is the wire for?
Here are 2 knowledge capsules. Tell me, can you detect any difference in their quality?
They look the same to Paimon.
And then Elemental
Try
Sight will
inspecting
fix
them with
it.
Elemental Sight.
Oh! That's so easy.
How'd it go? Did you see anything?
The one on the left, they
Rumor
both
has
are
it that
green.
higher quality knowledge capsules generally appear brighter when viewed through Elemental Sight.
That makes sense.
That's because knowledge originates from Irminsul, the root of Dendro power itself. The more powerful the knowledge, the richer it is in Dendro energy. However, some canned knowledge with a high concentration of elemental energy is of little use in contemporary times, so those capsules are of little value. Using Elemental Sight is merely a stopgap measure, but it should suffice for earning Dory's trust.
That sounds pretty impressive.
Here's a sheet with the informant's location and contact password, and here is the Mora for purchasing canned knowledge.
I wonder how this
Don't
is all
be
gonna,
cheap.
like, come back
You'll need to
together in the
spend to
end.
catch Dory's eye. If there's any Mora left over, just keep it.
Oh, is this one of those things where we had to guess how much more we had to? I'm so bad at these.
And be sure to exercise
I would
some
just give them
caution.
all the more I
There have
have.
been Matra present in Port
I keep
Ormos
none.
lately. Your efforts will be for naught if they catch you.
Matra?
They belong to the Academia's regulatory body. They also handle cases of illegal canned knowledge transactions. Like I said, the Academia has banned both their trade and possession. The Matra are razor sharp. You're in for nothing good if they lock their sights onto you.
I'll
If
help you
two want
find
to back
Dory.
out, now's the time. Okay, then we have a deal. If you succeed in your dealings with Dory, come find me at the Wikela Funduk. We'll have an open discussion then.
Sounds good, sir.
What Al-Haytham wrote, Dory's informant is a traitor near Old Ormos.
Hello, sir. Dory's contact. You also have bigger arms than Ito. Why does everyone have bigger arms than Ito? Why didn't they give Ito big arms?
Hello. What are you two looking to buy?
Oh. I didn't read what the password was. We want the unripe. Yeah, that's the one. Is that true? Unripe?
What a unique palate. We have unripe horror fruits.
Yeah,
but we
yeah, who
usually
wants
keep
them
in the
raw?
back. I'll have someone escort you.
Don't clip that.
Following the paper got us past the first round.
Ronak, these two want to buy unripe horror fruits. Show them to the warehouse.
Got it. You two, please follow me.
He sounds so weaselly.
You two have a fascinating fashion sense. We haven't seen a customer wearing
Oh, you're walking a little
SUMERU
too
rose
fast.
for quite some time.
Okay, we'll walk alongside. Oh, look!
Hold on.
That's so
Let me
cute!
think.
She's so small!
Sumeru rose means common merch.
Should I have read the stuff?
Look again. We're obviously wearing morning flowers.
Ah, my mistake. I do apologize.
Whew. That pop quiz sure was scary.
Ah, the warehouse is up ahead. Please
Slowly walking. I feel like he could walk a little bit faster, no? Oh. Oh. It's secretive. I mean...
Before I retrieve your products,
oh,
I need to confirm a few
trust
things.
bar.
Please forgive me, but we may not have sufficient stock for you today. Earlier, many of our horror fruits
Oh,
were
it's
taken by mice.
timed. Oh no! Oh no! I don't know what this is supposed to be. Sumeru Arc. I choked on my spit. Archon quest. Horror fruits guide. Please. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks. If better goods come in, you'll be the first to know. You look like you have some skill. Why don't I pick out some fruits that'll make you dizzy?
I would like to be more dizzy.
But eating horror fruit that makes your head and ears ring sounds like a bad life decision.
Would you like your horror fruits to be packaged in the Sumeru City or Port Ormos style?
Or Ormo style.
Wow, you two sure are generous customers. We'll be sure to package your products beautifully. Okay, everything has been confirmed. Miss Dory is waiting for you up at... Shoot, it's the Matra! Run!
Ooh.
What? The matcha? Where?
I got kanji.
We're done for it. We can't just...
Sorry, I'm dono-walling. My bad. I googled fast enough.
We don't know this area, so...
Oh, wait. I wanted to eat. No. Okay. Cussy now. No, not cussy.
From the Rishbaland tiger. Come this way.
Whose voice is this?
Another password.
It's not Dory's, is it?
Oh, that voice came from behind the...
Oh, she's so cute. I like the little stars in her eyes. Oh, look at her little up for us.
So you were the one who was calling out to us just now. But, are we definitely gonna be safe here?
These two good customers wish to buy some horror fruit, Miss Dory. And if there's nothing else, I'll just excuse myself.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
She's so small.
Huh?
Her design's so fun.
You're Dory? I'm unsure thought you'd look a whole lot scarier.
Hey, what are you trying to say, Princess Pea-Brain? I can be scary enough when I need to be, believe you me.
Princess
If you
Pea-Brain?
don't watch what you say, then you can
Should I use that against people now?
business. But it seems you two have actually done pretty well so far. Not only did you manage to find the informant, your reactions were also pretty sharp. You don't really look like criminals or anything, but I bet my Mora that you've been involved in some shady dealings, haven't you?
Paimon's not sure if that's supposed to be a compliment, but we'll take it.
I can't risk doing business with people who start huffing and puffing after just a few paces. No matter how much Mora they might have. Not only will they get caught by the Matra, but they'll also get us into trouble. As decent folks trying to run an honest business. We don't need any of that. Wouldn't you agree? So that's why I prefer to have customers like you. It's your
People who can
first
run
time here,
fast?
but don't worry, I won't ask too many questions. Even if you wish to buy enough knowledge capsules to decorate your
let me
house
breathe.
with, please knock yourself out. As long as you have lots of around.
We gained her trust so easily.
Mora, then we're all good. Ah, yes, of course. Go ahead, help yourselves. Voila!
Wow, she has a trove.
Oh, she has so many. Did you know fireflies are going extinct? Supposedly. I have not fact-checked this. But according to a random tweet on Twitter, which is not very trustworthy.
Don't worry, I'm not interested in your reasons for buying. I can, however, offer some suggestions. Take this one, for example. An analysis of the sociological ideology and dialectics of the Hilichurls. Only 3 people in all of Teyvat have ever
Is that one girl in Mondstadt who keeps talking to the Hilichurls?
It's on sale
Elon Musk?
now
Did she get
at
it from her?
350,000 mora.
Yeesh. Who would want to be an expert in that topic?
Oh,
Elon Musk.
How about the architectural styles and construction methods of Teyvat in the early Archon War period? With this one, you can become an expert in historic architecture preservation and find an excellent, well-paying job in nearly any nation.
Ooh, now this sounds like it could be useful.
Does it actually, though?
2 million mora.
2 million mora!
No,
Oh, she has a little blush! That's so cute! I like her glasses. Her sunglasses are so cool.
Of course, you are free to pick whatever your heart's desire. The contents and price of each knowledge capsule are indicated in small text on the body of each one.
Oh, she's so organized!
Alright, let's try the method that Al-Haytham mentioned.
Sounds good. Ooh! Oh, all of them are glowy. These 3? How much more did he give
On
us?
your shoulders, and quite the eye for quality.
How much more could this dude have possibly given us? Oh, do we get to haggle or no?
My oh my, you are blessed with a taste for both the exquisite and the extravagant. Customers like you are a rare breed. 1 in 100. No, 1 in 1,000 even. Listen, I have a special offer for you two. If you spend just 100,000 more, you can pick any knowledge.
She's a
capsule
great
of
salesperson.
your choice
I like the color of her hair.
Mora.
Say what now?
It's like a more muted pink, not as bright as Diona's. Unless it's just the lighting.
100K, and we get a capsule worth a whole
I feel like it's a trick. We're being scammed. Don't let her trick you. She's a merchant.
But all the canned knowledge we just bought is easily worth 500,000 mora. If we spend just a little more, we can get something worth 1 million.
Paimon's so easily scammed.
Isn't that a fantastic deal? Think about it. We've gone to all this trouble to get this canned knowledge. And so far,
She's seeing her plan working.
what belongs to Al-Haytham. Aren't you even the least bit curious about how this whole canned knowledge thing works? We're talking instant knowledge here. Don't you want to try it yourself?
I think you're more curious, but we can buy one.
Come on.
Not that Paimon's convincing me. It'd just be cool.
So let's put it to good use by finding something useful for you. Ahem. You've got a deal, Dory. We'd like to spend an extra 100,000 mora.
Excellent.
She's so easily scammed.
Select from this fine collection of canned knowledge over here.
Also, sorry I keep pausing or like muting, but I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear slurping noises in your ear right now.
Why can't we choose the ones from over there?
Scam!
Oh, but my dear customer, the knowledge capsules over here are worth 1 million mora each. I'm sure discerning customers like yourselves will be able to find something to your liking.
Scam!
Please, take your time.
Uh-oh, Paimon has a bad feeling about this. Let's use Elemental Sight again to check these.
It's a scam!
So, what did you see? So, they're all worth about the same amount?
We're being scammed by Dory. Continuing.
Anyway, the mora's already been spent, so let's at least try to find something useful. Let Paimon take a look here.
Oh, we can't even retract our offer? That's extra scammy.
SUMERU brewing techniques, the art of
Brewing
growing
techniques?
spices, an
Oh,
overview
sword
of
fighting.
ancient runes. Oh, how about this one? Sword Fighting Techniques 8. Not sure we'd ever find volumes 1 through 7, but at least this knowledge should be useful, right? Let's go with this one.
Does that mean Paimon's gonna learn how to fight? Because I'm pretty sure our sword fighting's fine.
Dory, take this one.
All right, very good. I'm expecting some new goods in the next couple days, so be sure to check back again soon. Whether it's canned knowledge or anything else you need, bring your Mora to Dory and doors will open.
Oh, is that her phrase? That's so cute.
Our dealings with Dory went smoothly enough. Let's head to Wakala Fundu.
Oh, we didn't even have to haggle. I thought we would have to haggle like we usually do.
What the Academia loves.
Okay, back to all. Okay, we'll see how this pans out. Hello, Gray Man.
You two made it. And from the looks on your
We
faces,
were very successful.
Whoa, there's so many people from the Academia
Whoa.
here. Why would you pick this place as our meetup spot?
Well, Wakela Funduk is under the
I wonder if he knows that we're
Academia's
scamming
control,
him.
So naturally, the Academia has people working here. I came to Port Ormos under the pretense of conducting official business.
I also wonder what his actual job is.
Relax. No one here is interested in anything we say, and the Matcha won't come here. Okay, now, tell me how your encounter with Dory went.
Okay, we did what you asked. So, can you tell us about the knowledge capsule that the Academia lost now?
Before that, I have to ask, why are you two so intent on tracking it down? You don't have to answer, of course.
I mean, we can be direct.
Yeah, she just wants to meet the God of Wisdom and ask her about something important. We've been in SUMERU for a while now, but we still haven't found a way. When we heard that the Academia had lost something that might be related to the gods, we came here in case it turned out to be our lucky break.
In that case, you're on the right track. A short while ago, the Academia lost a knowledge capsule in the desert.
A divine
It's
knowledge
supposedly
capsule.
a divine knowledge capsule.
Capsule.
Use it, and you'll gain the wisdom of the gods.
There's really such a thing as that? Hey, if we find it, do you think we could learn how to meet the Dendro Archon? Ooh, or even how to find your brother?
I highly doubt it has any mystical properties, but it does indeed exist. And it's right here, in Port Ormos.
So, where exactly?
That's what we need to find out next.
Oh, he's also fine. I wonder... Maybe he's directly tied to Kusanali? He can be her bird companion. Oh! Kind of looks like a bird. She likes birds. These are the ties I'm making.
I won't deny that. I am investigating because I'm curious as to what the divine knowledge capsule truly is. As you know, the Eremites in Port Ormos also have their eyes on it. It is an extremely precious item. The knowledge contained within may bring great power or wealth to whoever has it in their possession. Several brigades have been vying for ownership of it as of late, but there is still no victor. My personal finances and connections cannot compete with those of the Eremites. After attempting various methods, I finally managed to reach a tentative agreement with several brigades. I agreed to forego ownership.
The music
of
always
divine
changes
knowledge capsule
volume.
in exchange
Sometimes
for
it's
the
too
opportunity
quiet.
to
Currently
study
it is too loud.
After all, there's no harm in understanding what it is. However, there are those who are less amenable to negotiation, such as those from Ain al-Ahmar. They adamantly believe that the divine knowledge capsule contains the Scarlet King's power, and that he will return to this world when they obtain it. They refuse to let anyone
I wonder if
from the Academia
we get
tarnish
to
their deity's soul.
we get to know what's in it.
So you kept hounding them because they refused to cooperate with you?
I keep burping now that I've eaten.
Yes. Ain al-Ahmar isn't exactly wealthy, but its members are determined to get that capsule by any means necessary. To that end, they've resorted to many methods more foul than fair in order to amass sufficient funds. So, I've been sabotaging their business to force them into negotiating with me. The divine knowledge capsule should be up for a secret auction within the next few days. Each brigade will place their own bid, and the prize will be covertly given to the winner. To ensure the capsule's security and to evade the Matra's notice, The winning
I am
brigade
surprised
will
they're
not
talking
publicly
about this just
disclose
out in the
their
open.
victory.
I know he said no one's
Unless I
gonna
know
listen.
whose hands the divine knowledge capsule
But
ends
it's a
up
little
in,
sketchy.
my agreements with them will fall through. Dory is the most reliable source of information, but that avenue was previously closed to me. With you on board now, the situation is different.
We're
You
helpful.
wanted us to befriend Dory so you could find out where the divine knowledge capsule is.
Yes, you can say that. But this arrangement harms none of us. The day after tomorrow, go back to Dory and try to purchase information on the divine knowledge capsule's whereabouts. If she has no information,
This is a whole
wait 2 days
process.
and approach her again. If I get the opportunity to study the divine knowledge capsule, I will relay my findings to you. Will that suffice as compensation?
Yes.
Okay. Then we'll meet up
Sounds
in 2
good,
days.
sir.
Haytham, before you go, we actually bought a knowledge capsule for ourselves.
Oh, the sword fighting one. Imagine if Paimon could fight
You
with
two want to try
swords.
using
She'd be
a
so much more
knowledge capsule?
helpful.
Sure, I can teach
Would
you.
she actually? I'm not too
Doing
sure.
so
Would she get in the
right
way?
under the Academia's nose is a bit problematic, though. What do you say we head to the outskirts of town?
Okay. We get to try the canned knowledge. The USB for our brains.
All right, this place works. Show me the capsule you purchased.
Here.
Sword Fighting Techniques 8. Huh. A combat class knowledge capsule. This class is something of a rare find these days, since most have been taken by the Eremites to augment their battle capabilities.
Really? Ah, yeah, what a great buy!
If you want to determine the efficacy of this capsule, I can evaluate your combat ability. However, effects will likely be minimal if you already possess a high amount of strength. We can conduct a controlled experiment
Which
where
we
you fight
already
2 battles,
have.
one before using this knowledge capsule.
Oh,
and
we
one
get to
after.
fight him.
While you fight, we can use an Akasha terminal to monitor
Oh,
your
that's so
various physical
cool. At least
parameters.
there are other uses.
There may be variances in your physical strength between the 2 tests, as well as a disparity in your opponent's abilities. But don't worry. I'll run statistical analyses afterward to mitigate any confounding effects.
Wow! Haytham, you must have been one of those guys at the Academia who got top grades on everything.
Are you from the Academia?
Paimon's curious about something, though. You definitely weren't one of those students who needed canned knowledge to graduate from the Academia, right? So, why are you risking getting caught by the mantra for this capsule?
When you are unable to understand a researcher's actions, most cases
Oh, I
can
did
be
not
attributed to
grasp that at
curiosity.
all. I didn't realize he was from the Academia.
Is but one theory.
I thought he was unaffiliated.
Sounds like you're trying to avoid the question.
All right, let's begin the test. Just fight as
Okay,
you
we
normally
get to whoop him. I hope. Initiate first combat test. Alyssa's channel looks into the distance. Oh, who are we fighting? Oh. I thought we had to fight him. This is not as exciting. What? Is this it? Cool. I mean, this is also fun. Here, let me kill Clea before she dies after the next test.
All right. I'll link your Akasha terminal to record data. The
I
next
was
step
hoping
is
to
use
fight
this knowledge
him.
capsule. Hold it in your hand. I'll help you establish a connection with it so you can activate its power.
Oh, we haven't met Sino yet. I just realized. Is he one of the last ones from the teaser that we haven't met yet? Hand knowledge. Open your inventory. And then I should have just clicked whatever it gave me. Here, use. Man, if they had this for school, that'd be great. It's a USB for a brain! Look at the information going in!
How are you feeling? You mean that it worked?
All right. Time for round 2. Fight with the same composure as before.
Okay. Same fight. I'm back to Agree, man.
Now, I'll start recording data again.
Oh, hey, Thumb. How's it going?
Well, the knowledge capsule you purchased did improve her combat capability. During the second fight,
I feel like that's negligible.
Performance increased by 0.073%.
Like, could that just not be like an off chance rather than direct causation from the? That's basically zero.
Dory's such a jerk.
Well, I don't think she scammed us. Didn't he say if our skills are already good, then it wouldn't improve it that much? Yeah, it wasn't a
The
scam.
capsule's contents were unable to produce a substantial increase.
I'm jumping to
At the very
conclusions.
least, this test allowed me to gain more insight into you two. Our deal seems increasingly worth my investment. I'm heading back to Akela Funduk. I await your
Okay,
response
and then
in
we
2
have
days'
to
time.
get more knowledge
This
capsules
is
from Dory,
Mora for
right?
when you ask Dory for information.
Pay her as much as she requests?
Pay her as much as
Well,
she
thank you for
requests.
getting this Mora, sir. I don't know how you're getting all this Mora. Back to... wait until 2 days from now. Okay. 2 days... have 2 days passed? Did I do that right? 2 days have passed. Back to Dory. Oh, I'm sorry I cut you off, Paimon. But honestly, you should probably be cut off more often. To Dory! I'm gonna sprint a little faster.
Here, over here! Oh, welcome back, my loyal patrons. What can I do for you this time? You name it. Can knowledge, supplies,
She's so
or anything
small.
else you need. I'll find a way to get it. Where there's a waterfall of Mora, there's a way.
Can you really get us anything we want? Anything at all?
Are we just asking for
So
more
it
can
appears that
knowledge?
Can knowledge alone is no longer sufficient for your opulent appetite? Then please oblige me.
I like to buy. Oh!
Oh! I knew customers with pockets as deep as yours.
Oh, she's
undoubtedly
painting
had something more
nails.
profound than ordinary can knowledge. But you know, that kind of information isn't going to be cheap. After all, I had to work really hard to weasel my way into
How
the
much
auction
you
site.
want?
Not to mention that if anyone found out that I was the leaker,
How
I would
much
be
you
in
want? Name
big,
your
big
price.
trouble.
But how can we be sure your information is accurate? I'm
True.
curious.
Fair, fair, fair.
Happen to have this kind of info the moment we need it.
What are you trying to say, Paimon?
Because to me, anything of value is what I consider to be my supply. Therefore, I must always be aware of what's hot on the market in order to secure more sales. As for the information's authenticity, well, you've no need to worry about that. I used a camera to take a picture of the transaction. That way,
Name your
no one can
price.
dispute it. It's always a pleasure doing business with such sterling patrons. Now that you've paid in full,
We didn't even get to know how much it costs?
the divine knowledge capsule was
She didn't even name her price.
by a
She just took our money.
the leader of Ain el-Ahmar.
Ain el-Ahmar? You mean the Aramites who worship the Scarlet King?
Ah, so you're already familiar with them. The group has done everything in their power to obtain the divine knowledge capsule. After all, they believe it contains the power of the Scarlet King. That divine knowledge capsule is unlike any other canned knowledge I've seen before. It was glowing bright red.
Bright
The capsule is
red.
clearly visible in the picture I took. You can look for yourself.
Thanks for the info, Dory.
Please, it's my pleasure. It's all thanks to discerning customers such as yourselves that my efforts yesterday were not in vain. Please, don't hesitate to contact me if you ever need anything else in the future. Mora for Dory opens doors.
Well, we figured out where the divine knowledge capsule is. It turns out it ended up in the hands of...
I keep cutting her off. Sorry, Paimon. So,
Oh, hey, Thumb! We got the info you wanted.
Really? Alright. Let's hear it.
it's in the hands of the dudes that we're against.
Evidence to verify the intel. Have a look.
Huh, look at that. Clear as day. It must have taken some guts just to infiltrate the scene of the Eremites' transaction. but then to get close enough to take a picture like this. Bold move, Dory. Very bold.
He's complimenting her.
All right. The person in this picture is indeed Misery, the leader of Ain al-Ahmar. And the glowing red capsule he's holding appears to be the Divine Knowledge Capsule. In which case, if we play our cards right, when we confront them next week, we should be able to force them to show their hand.
At first, Paimon didn't get why you were provoking these Ain al-Ahmar guys. But now, it sort of makes sense.
Well,
Right into your
he still has to fight them, don't they? Doesn't he? I thought they had like a fight in a week.
Talk with their boss and get them to lend us the Divine Knowledge Capsule.
Thank you for your time and efforts. Take a few days off while I make some preparations. Let's meet up again on the afternoon of the arranged date, 3 o'clock sharp.
We will be there. Or is this in preparation for the fight? Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I see. Those two separate things. I was like, there's a lot going on his plate.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's head to the pier in front of Pharos Lighthouse.
Now we all fight.
Let's go.
To the agreed upon location. Now we get to fight.
Crazy, but I didn't know you were crazy enough to actually show up.
Okay. We're about to fight.
It was I who demanded that these negotiations take place. I was more worried that you might go back on your promise. But to your credit, it appears that you're sticking to your word. This is turning into
Why does he have so many people with him?
I also brought some backup. I assume you don't mind.
Backup?
He's such a weasel.
The restaurant the other day? You've come to support this lunatic because he helped you out?
Your funeral, sir.
Your funeral.
Head on a stake.
I'm not going to mince my words. Once we're done with you, you'll be nothing more than fish food. Get 'em, boys!
You'll be Paimon's food. Do we actually get to fight them? I hope so. It'd be kind of funny, no?
That's close enough.
Oh, my stuff's on cooldown. Oh.
Solidify.
Big man rock. Pretty lady tie him up. Little kid bomb. An embarrassing defeat. Destroyed by a child! Embarrassing.
Academia scum!
Oh, this is a little loud.
Boss! Finally! Did you use it? Great! Now we can...
Oh, this was in the teaser.
Boss?
What happened to him?
Oh, I feel bad for him now.
Now.
It's kind of cool.
Target acquired. Arrest him.
Is he arresting all? No, right? Who are you arresting?
Do not impede our work. Is that understood, Al-Haytham?
Of course. I was only trying to help.
Take him away.
Slick!
World, forget me.
Isn't that what Kusanali said? No? I thought it was.
What in Tibet just happened? It's like that big guy suddenly lost his mind.
It looks like he used the Divine Knowledge Capsule.
You mean the Divine Knowledge Capsule did that to him? You mean how some researchers go insane after getting knowledge from Irminsul?
Oh, is it the same
I've heard of
thing?
numerous
That's kind of
incidents of
scary.
researchers in Satyavada life going insane. The state that man is now in suggests that this is a similar situation. This divine knowledge capsule does appear to be linked to the gods, but beyond that, it doesn't seem anything like the rumors suggest. Possessing it doesn't grant you divine wisdom or power. Did you hear what he said? World, forget me.
Is it what Kusanali
What
said?
could that possibly mean?
I feel like I'm remembering wrong. Ermin Soul. Oh, no. Okay.
Mantra took him away, then that means the Academia got the divine knowledge capsule back too. What a shame. We were so close.
But we did get it.
Well, Paimon didn't expect the divine knowledge capsule would be so dangerous. Imagine if we tried to open it. Oh, who knows what would have happened to us?
As things stand, there is no reason for me to remain in Port Ormos.
He isn't
I
gonna
believe
tell us
our
that he swiped
collaboration
it.
has also reached its end.
Ooh! I thought we were
The
collaborating.
divine knowledge capsule that Paimon forgot to ask you something. Since you're a member of the Academia, do you have any idea how we could go about meeting Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Truthfully, I don't. Lesser Lord Kusanali appears to exist outside of Sumeru's entire administration. Most of the time, you wouldn't know she exists at all. Moreover, since the Academia possesses the Akasha, a symbol of our deity's wisdom, scholars have no reason to desire to make contact with the deity herself anyway.
Everything about Lesser Lord Kusanali is such a mystery.
I'm heading back to the Academia. How about you two?
It's almost the day of the Sub-Zero's festival.
Oh, do we get to end on the festival? I hope so. I thought it would have ended here.
So maybe a little rest and relaxation will do us good.
Let's go to Sumeru City. Hopefully to catch the festival. Unless it ends here.
Till we meet again.
He's not gonna tell us he swiped it.
Now, do I deal with this thing first? Or should I produce the report that the higher-ups require?
This is such a close-up. Oh wait, no, this is the end of Act 1. Oh, it is the end of Act 1! Act 1 complete! Oh, we got to meet so many characters! Dory... Tighnari... deyha... Who else do we meet? Al, Hytham... Milu? We met like all of them in this act. Oh, but then we won't get to. That's interesting. I'm excited for Act 2. I feel like this has been building everything for Act 2. I'm excited to see Milu's dance. I wonder if the tree is gonna burn down in the next act. I hope the tree isn't gonna burn down in the next act. But we will see. We will see. I'm excited.